Yo, 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 yo. We back at it again for another one of these episodes, the Weekend Rhyme, the number one hip hop weekend podcast in the game. This is your boy Prime, aka RKY. That is Leroy Green. I must say, bro, how you feeling, man? How you feeling, brother?
Feeling good, man. Feeling great, man. Having a good weekend so far. Stayed busy. I got a lot going on. I know everybody out there too has been a lot going on this week, but I've been trying to get to you. I'm here now. I'm trying to get to the people, man. What
Well,
up?
well, well, we can get back to our, this week has been, you know, climactic in a way. So, but we're gonna get back to our regularly scheduled program. We're gonna discuss hip hop tonight. We'll touch on that a little bit towards the end of the show. But I'm having a
Yeah.
bad day, man. I'm having a real bad day. Um,
Yeah.
my dog's lost, so it's a bad day. May not make the playoffs now, so I'm just having a real bad day, man. I had some bad Mexican food.
Yeah.
I'm just having a real bad day, man. So I'm gonna have a real bad attitude on the show,
Oh
and
man.
we'll just see what it is, man. But let's start
We
off with the Grammys. Grammys is an award show. Again, I've always said on this platform, I think award shows are a dying breed. I don't like them. They're not exciting anymore. I just think like the red carpets and all the awards and all the hoopla. I think internet, social media, platforms like ourselves have kind of killed the luster of the Grammys. I used to go out there. I went to one Grammys back in the day, and it was cool. I was younger, and I thought it was exciting going out to LA. And it's just not my cup of tea as I age and I get older. It just seems all lame to me. But the Grammys came out,
okay.
and some noteworthy nods. I think Kendrick got 11 nominations. I think right. Kendrick got 11 nominations.
11. Wow.
I think he got 11 nominations. I think for best rap album, you got Doechii is nominated.
Mm-hmm.
You got The Death of Slim Shady. You got Might Delete Later, which is a surprise. The Auditorium Volume 1, Common and Pete Rock. And We Don't Trust You featuring Metro. Um,
Okay.
Kind of a weak list. If I'm going by this list,
Mm.
sorry, Doechii fans. I'm gonna go Common and Pete Rock. As the if I'm on the committee, that's
Okay.
my pick. That's my pick.
Not mad at that. Not mad at that. You know, the Grammys, award shows, I'm not gonna act like I don't watch them. I do, you know what I mean? Am I always excited about watching them and things like that? It just depends. That list right there, I'm not that mad at the list because I don't expect them to have the same type of taste that I would have, even though, Common is up there, J. Cole is up there. I'm not mad at those picks. Even the M, I listened to the album maybe twice. I can't say that I ran it back a bunch of times, but I get that it's M1, and I get that he had kind of a there's a conceptual nature to it. The alligator bites never heal. I'm not mad at that. I'll talk about TDE a little bit later because Absol just came out. Behind me, y'all, is my favorite mixtape, y'all. I'm gonna talk about Pharrell later. So my favorite mixtape ever is in my mind the prequel. If y'all have not heard that, that's my favorite mixtape. Tomorrow, normally I would tell you to listen to some albums. I'm gonna tell you to watch this movie. But to the Grammys point, I get it. If I had to pick out of those, I'm probably gonna lean toward Common and Pete Rock, just like you did, just like you were saying. So, that's my thing. The Metro and Future, I thought that was cool. You know what I mean? I didn't think it was whack. I don't think it's the best thing ever. I thought it was cool. So, I'm not mad at that. Kendrick, I expect them to kind of lead toward Kendrick too because hey, he had a big year. I don't expect everybody to agree with that. That's okay. You know what I'm saying? But we know what not like us did. Somebody mentioned LL Cool J's album in the chat. Phenomenal album, great album. So we'll see what happens, man. At the end of the day, but I'm expecting Kendrick to have a big night. We'll see.
We'll see. So in hip hop adjacent news with the Grammys, Jay-Z is now one less, I think, than his wife. I think she's overtaken him in Grammy nominations now because she got a lot of nominations for a Cowboy Carter album.
Yeah.
So then she's also has another record of being nominated in multiple categories. She's been nominated in hip hop, rap, R&B, soul, jazz, Americana, country. So she's got a lot of nominations. On the nominations tip, also Andre 3 Stacks has been nominated for Album of the Year for that flute album. So
Okay.
so he has a chance to win the top honor of the night for Record of the Album of the Year in all categories.
Fire.
And also Doechii again. She is the most nominated female rapper with Best Rap Album, Alligator Bites Never Heal. Best Rap Performance with Nissan Altima. Best Remix Recording, Alter Ego with JT and Katronda. And also she's nominated for Best New Artist. So hip-hop is being represented right now. And speaking of Kendrick Lamar, this lyric has been going viral. I've been seeing. Kendrick just opened his mouth. Somebody go hand him a Grammy right now. So that from Family Matters, that's been leaking. So hey, we're gonna see. We're gonna see what it is, man. I'm not a big Grammy fan. I'm not gonna be on my couch. One night I watched it, I want to say it was like 2015 or 16. And I was sitting there watching with my wife, and I'm like, what the hell am I watching? It looked like I was literally watching hell. There was flames on the stage. There was demons crawling out pits. There was like these crosses that were being inverted, and it was all types of damn demons and devils. I was like, man, this is sick. So I don't even put my mind in that space to watch it anymore, man. So we stopped. I think that was the last one I watched. 2015. That's almost 10 years ago. I was like, I'm not watching this no more, man. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, it was like a dragon came out, and they had like a demon come out the stage, and it was like, it was just like, and why is everybody
Illuminati swag?
I mean, it was full of whatever demonic swag. I was like, why is everybody on this type of time? I mean, this is just weird, man. It had blood. It was wild. So I don't watch that no more, man. But
I mean, folks gonna do what they do. I'm not gonna tell people what to believe or not believe, but the industry has a thing that it leans toward, and I think money has to do with that. Like they see that a certain people are watching for a certain thing, which brings them more money. So I think if there was another direction and that offered them more money, I think they would go in that direction too. I think it's just money based. Like I'm gonna talk about Pharrell a little bit later. He had the happy song. Yeah, I'm happy. We might think that's corny, right? But let's say that the game was about being happy and everybody was, all smiles and cheer. If that brought in money, I think they would go that route too. So I just think that it's just about what brings eyes and money. You know what I mean?
Right. Web visibility with the super chat says, would LL's album been able to qualify? I think he missed the cutoff date. I think the cutoff date was either the beginning or end of August, and he came out in September. So he will be able to be nominated next year. And my hope is that, he'll probably be in the category of Kendrick again. J. Cole might come out. Dr. Dre and Snoop probably will be nominated. Maybe the Auditorium Volume 2 may drop next year. Who else? There's gonna be a lot of different things coming out, but we'll see. So where we at next, man? We was at where we talking about the Grammys, and we wanted to get into it. What do we want to get into next?
The Nas saying Primo Music, him and Primo Music is coming soon.
Yeah, so Nas.
Right.
Before you cook up on this, Leroy, Nas, we've been talking about the Nas and Primo album for quite some time. People are saying it's going to come save the day. We did have that single that came out. When did that single come out? It came out in
it was a while back.
At the end of last year, I think, right?
I was going to say early this year, but it's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a minute. It's been a minute, and it had a okay reception. I mean, I think people were like, it was cool. It didn't like blow. I thought it was maybe like one of those throwaway joints they used to put out back in the day, like a pre-single. That wasn't like the real single. You know what I'm saying? Like the warm up. But it was just cool. It was cool. So it didn't have me kind of anticipating the record like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, they say it's coming out. They say it's coming out. I think so. So you heard that Nas said he made an announcement, or what did he
Yeah, he was
say?
just on stage. He just on stage, cut the beat real quick. He was just like, yeah, new music from me and Primo coming soon. Then he got back to performing. You know what I mean? So it was just a quick thing like that. I just caught it on YouTube. I'd have to pull up where I got it from. Sorry for whoever got that clip. I'm not giving you your credit. I don't got my phone open right now, but I just saw it on YouTube. You know what I mean?
Right. We got Mike D in the building. I'm gonna ask him about these Grammys. Mike, what's going on, brother?
What's up, my guy?
Hey, what's going on, man? What's going on, Leroy? How you doing, man? You doing all right after that significant loss this week?
I'm gonna keep on for my people, man. I gotta keep on.
What people?
Huh?
What people?
For
For
my
my
people.
people.
Hey, I'm a student. I'm a student of Dr. Martin Luther King, man. I'll
Dr.
probably,
King wouldn't rock with that person you said that was
I'll
our
probably
people.
never. No, but his philosophy, though,
Which one?
as far as people that are not rich, I gotta ride with them. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, and that's no diss.
Whoa, whoa,
I
whoa, whoa,
know
whoa,
a lot of
whoa,
y'all got
whoa,
a
whoa,
lot of
whoa,
money out there. A
whoa,
lot
whoa,
of
whoa, whoa,
y'all
whoa.
be
So
living
the
real
Democrats
fly.
aren't rich?
No, I know a lot of y'all live real fly, and I'm not hating on that.
I
I
don't. I don't know
respect
what you're
that.
talking about.
I
The
respect
people
that.
you're talking about are fly and rich too. They
Nah,
might not be
nah,
as fly
man.
as the other guy.
Nah. On the street level, nah. My whole thing is like the people that are celebrating. I want to know what you celebrating, cause I don't know.
I think
I don't know what you
I can give you
celebrating.
some insight into that.
When
Maybe
I
I don't know if
ride
you
through the
saw Big Gip's
neighborhoods,
interview. Big Gip did a great interview with Beehive, or at least the clip is out there for the people who want to see it. But
okay,
I think that I don't think people are celebrating. Social media can get people caught up. I think mostly what people are celebrating is the flex of power, in a sense where it's like there has been
okay.
a party that has taken a certain voting block for granted,
Mm,
and now they have shown that they need this block more than the block needs them.
okay. I'm not
And I
mad at
think
that.
that's where the celebration is. And
I'm
then what
saying
you heard.
who did you hurt them? Like for if you're
Yeah,
we
yeah,
did
yeah, 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 yeah. No, no, no.
we hurt them.
Clearly,
They're
if you
hurt.
lost, no, no, yes, you did. If you lost the House, the
We
Senate,
hurt
the
them.
presidency, yes, you did hurt them. They spend
So
billions and billions of dollars to get your vote for nothing. They don't do that,
I mean, if you
for
think
their
that,
health. They spend that money so that they can
okay,
continue to keep power. So if you keep them out of power, yeah, you did hurt
I,
them.
when I, if you think that you hurt them, that I'll let you have. If you think you hurt Hakeem Jeffries, well, who's hurt more, us or? But I mean, if you think that you hurt them, okay. But when I ride through the neighborhoods, right,
Uh-huh.
I'm seeing a different reality for our people now.
What
What
reality are you seeing when you're riding through the neighborhood? What are we seeing?
I'll take it like this. Let's
Uh-huh.
say that there's a group of black guys. They all get fly because I know y'all got your money, man. You go out to a sushi bar. You go out to a sports bar. Let's say you go out to a restaurant, right?
Uh-huh.
There's an old Asian guy running the restaurant.
Okay.
He's looking at y'all while y'all celebrating, and he's thinking to himself, "I wonder what y'all celebrating." Because in my neighborhood, I'm talking as the perspective of the old
You
Asian
think
guy.
he cares about? You think he really thinks about that?
Yeah, because in his mind, he's like, I own this restaurant, I own the
Huh?
gas station across the street, I own the hospital down the street, I own the school across the street from that. What are y'all celebrating
But you
that
know
I'm
what, Leroy?
missing?
I'm glad you mentioned that. What party do you think put him in position to own that in those communities?
I well, one thing
Uh,
that we need to
uh.
do is math. And I think for y'all that have made y'all equations and y'all think the government is the reason y'all got money, then show me your math equation.
Well,
Because
let
that's
me
not
steer.
fair. When I
Let me.
I'm
see
sorry. I just had
now
to gloat
again,
real quick. I'm sorry.
No, no, no,
for
no.
y'all that
Let's
got a
stay here
whole
for a
bunch of
second, Mike,
money,
because I
I'm
want to talk
happy for
about
y'all.
this. I want to talk about this real quick while we on the subject, right? So Waka Flocka, 2 weeks ago, he made his announcement. He supported Trump, right? Then a few days later, well, a few weeks later, after the victory, the decisive win on Tuesday, a Washington D.C. club canceled his joint. I think it's Community. something. It was some kind of event. A meet and greet was
Or
canceled.
was it a liquor store or something?
Was it a liquor store?
Yeah, it was a liquor store, I believe. I believe it was a meet and greet at the liquor store. I think.
So the liquor store owner says, "I love my
That's
and
terrible.
support." The liquor store owner says this: "I love and support my community first and foremost." This is from the liquor store owner. I am not music political or music person, and I truly had no idea about the views of Waka Flocka Flame, nor do I share his views. My community has spoken, and the event for tomorrow has been canceled. Wow. So Waka
Well,
Flocka
the wild part about this, Walker really had no
You're breaking
projected.
up.
He just said who he was voting for. Oh, you guys hear me now?
Yeah, I got you.
You hear me now?
Right,
Yep.
right. He was
Okay.
just saying
Yeah.
who
I
he
mean,
was voting
the
for.
wild thing about this, is Walker really expressed any views per se. He just said who he was voting for, and that was enough
Walker should vote
for
for
him
Trump.
to.
Yeah, as a multimillionaire,
I mean,
he should
again,
vote his
guys, and
interest.
and I see the comments talking about Mike is a black Republican. No, I'm not. I'm just a black person who I'm looking at policy and individual parties, and I'm not siding with any party on any level. I mean, because neither party has really express the things that I care about, and that's fine. And
Yeah,
it doesn't
so
mean, and people got to stop this. And I'm just, I'm being critical, like I'm critical of an artist. I think it's ridiculous that Andre 3000 got nominated for Album of the Year for playing a fucking flute. Anti Andre 3000.
Mike,
I just call shit the way I see it, and that's okay.
Two things. Instrumental albums, I have not heard those get any light in hip hop for a very long time. I would like to see those come
In
back.
music in general, you're not gonna get Album of the Year nominations at the Grammy for a fucking
I'm agreeing
instrumental
with
album that's like.
I'm
And I
agreeing.
love 3000. I love The Dungeon. I interviewed Gip right after the damn album came out, and we talked about it. But it's
I'm
ridiculous.
agreeing with you. Again, whatever side that people pick, I can't tell you what side to pick. That's your right to pick that side. I'm not mad, because there is, when you do the math, there is some disconnect to where if you want to be successful, it don't matter who the president is. But I think for people that voted along the lines of healthcare, education, and workers' rights, I think they were let down, and that's okay. You could come your way. You could fight your way back. But if now those are issues that I feel are important. Everyone else's issues to you, if they're important, they're important. Like I'm saying, if you're a millionaire, you should be riding with Trump because that's in your best interest to do that. You shouldn't.
Hey, but Leroy,
You if you have investments in Tesla, if you have stock in the dealings that Trump is involved in, you should be riding with people that have money. It doesn't make sense for you to ride over here on my side.
Hey, Leroy,
You know
did you know? Leroy, did you know that the majority of billionaires back Kamala Harris? The majority of billionaires. She on record, on campaign record, the majority, like she had over 100 billionaires or something like that supported and donated to Kamala Harris.
That's interesting.
Well, they're tripping because money should probably stick with money. Now,
but they all got money though. What I think there's a perception, there's a misperception that one side has money and one side doesn't.
No, Kamala has money. Trust me.
Yes. Oh no.
But what I'm saying is the perspective is that these people with money care about us. Now.
I want to stop you there. Based on what? No. Hold. Based on what you just said, what do you have to back what you just said? Because I disagree with you there. I don't think that the people in the Democratic Party care about us. And when I say us,
they didn't win.
Black
so
people.
they're a non-factor.
No, they have won though. So no, their record is a factor. When they won. No. When black folks is getting slaughtered in the streets and we had to go out there and protest, and you guys, man, Kendrick and my man Kendrick had to go out there and make that anthem that people were protesting to. Who was in office? Who was in office when Trayvon Martin went down? No. Let's keep it a buck here. Who was in office when Trayvon Martin met his
Barack Obama
to George Zimmerman And who
Barack
do we
Obama.
have as the attorney general? We had Eric Holder, another quote unquote black person who could have actually looked at that case for what it was and got that case tried somewhere else because they saw the bias in the fact that George Zimmerman's father was a fucking judge. Did he do it?
I understand
And,
that.
and the people, why did people even have to protest in the streets to that degree? Because these people really don't care. So I don't want to hear people saying that side cares. They haven't shown that.
I don't think that a man can stop murder in the United States.
I think that you can try somebody and you can actually make sure that that person is punished to the degree they need to be punished.
Trump can stop
and I think
murder,
you can also and I think you also, when you're sitting there outside of the White House lawn and people are protesting in Baltimore, I think that you could actually speak to the point and not call them thugs. I think you can do that.
How could Barack Obama have prevented Trayvon's death?
I didn't say he could have prevented it. He could have brought justice to that situation. He could have spoke a lot. He could, like I just told you, they could have made sure that trial, was tried somewhere where it wouldn't be biased. And there was clearly going to be a bias because of who George Zimmerman's father was. And
I'm gonna tell us one thing.
What's that?
In this country, I don't think there's a president that is going to sway the verdict of that type of case.
I didn't say that. But what an attorney general does is they identify when situations are unfair. And this is clearly a high profile case. This is clearly something that was getting, people protesting around the country. So it's not like they didn't know about it. They could have made sure that this was tried fairly. They refused to do that. They went down there, wanted to sing and dance, hold hands and things like that. There's nothing that they've done to show me that they actually care. No, there's nothing that you said that side cares about us. My thing is, for the people in here who are feeling that I'm embarrassing myself, my thing is I don't think either side cares. I don't think either side has proven that they actually care.
That are celebrating Donald Trump, I'm happy for you. Celebrate that. I can't.
No, I'm not celebrating that. I think people are more so celebrating the loss.
As far as dead bodies are concerned, I do not believe a president is going to stop that. Now I hear your argument, and some part of it I can agree with. But the thing is, every time I bring up Trump, y'all bring up Democrats as a counter to my point. So I'm glad that everyone is riding with the right-wing party. Just ride with them. I'm not going to ride with them.
No one even said that though, Leroy. See, that's
but I didn't
say
you're
accusing me of what you're doing. No one said that.
No. I do not believe that any president is going to stop the industrial prison complex or police violence. So that means I do not believe any president has the.
You don't think that they have the power to actually empower it, but they don't have the power to stop it?
I do know, because there is too much going on in the streets for a president to police everybody's actions like that. I do not believe
you're not going to have zero crime per se, but yes, you can. You can balance out. This is the thing. You can balance out the prison industrial complex, and you can make sure that people are being tried somewhat fairly. I mean, you can actually incentivize on many levels. And you can make an example of people who aren't trying fairly. So when you look at the percentages, it's crazy. So you think inherently Black people commit more crimes than other groups?
No.
Okay, so there's some bias going on there, right?
My whole thing is this: the government. There's levels to the government, and it goes. I'm talking from the top. We're going to work our way down. When we're talking about just violent crimes, the prison industrial system, the police, and we're expecting a president to stop that machine, I do not believe there is a mechanism in place for the president to stop that. I don't believe Trump is going to stop it either.
Okay. Well, do you think that the Democrats ran a winning campaign?
No, I do not.
Okay. Well,
you can't win like whenever I speak about Republicans, the counter people give me is
no. You're not really speaking about Republicans.
You're not hearing anything I said about Republicans. You
I don't
want to counter with Democrats.
But you're clearly not hearing what I said though, Because I didn't say I supported Republicans. You created that.
I did not say that. I did not say that.
Then why are we even speaking about Republicans? I'm just talking about the group that has gotten our vote my whole lifetime. I don't even know what Republicans have to do with this conversation.
I know I'm not going to win here, y'all.
I see people. One second.
In their mind, wasn't black. Trump's black either.
1 second, guys. 1 second, guys. We got some people in the comments saying, and I want to say, I don't have a dog in the fight. I'm gonna bring Servan on here because Servan wants to talk about.
I thought that y'all cared about money.
But check this out. Let me finish. People were saying that a felon ran for president. Let's be for real. I don't have a dog in the fight. Those felonies for people want to throw that out there like that's something, right? Y'all know what it is. The prosecutor turned misdemeanors. He stretched the law and turned misdemeanors, things that would not have even been tried against anybody in the history in the state of New York or New York City, to stop this man from running for president. So that's why the Democrats lost, because they keep doing fugazi things. The American people,
more white people in
the American people saw that this was bogus. Those aren't real felonies. Those are misdemeanors. He took one charge and made him 34 to stop the dude from running, and that was whack. I'm just calling a spade a spade. Go ahead and get some. Go get something.
You know what happens when we go to court, and we know what happens when we go to court and we got felonies on our record. So I mean, it's clearly a double standard here. It's clearly a double standard.
On both sides, though.
They don't treat me when I go to court like they treat Donald Trump. So clearly, there's a double standard.
But I mean, if he wasn't running for president, he would have never been charged with these things. That's the whole point of the whole.
For y'all that are defending this man.
And I'm not defending him. I'm just showing how bogus the situation was. So Vaughn, I know you coming in this political talk. We wanted to shout you out, brother. You had a great interview with Akon.
Great interview.
How was that, brother? How was that experience? And what did you want to tell the people regarding it?
I mean, man, I appreciate everybody who locked in and checked it out. It all came about really because I have two people that I go to that I get my locks retwisted from. One of them is somebody I went to high school with. She does great work. The other one is a older lady. She's African. She's from West Africa, and she combined some of my locks, and she's dope. And we always talk. Usually some people get in there and they just sit there and be silent while she's doing her hair. I actually talk to her, and we talk about a lot of stuff about Africa and everything. And then something about his new single came across on my social media, of course, and I just, do what I do and get behind, the inner workings of that and try to make the interview happen. And they were open to it, and we made it happen. It was like the perfect storm. So that's how it came about, man. That's my first actual interview for this year, because I kind of paused on it and everything. So being back into it and being able to chop it up with him was dope.
No doubt. Got a fire interview, man.
No doubt. Is there one thing that you learned? One thing that you found out that you didn't know that you kind of walked away surprised with?
One of the biggest thing for me is when I asked him what is his greatest accomplishment in music, and he told me signing Lady Gaga. So
I thought that was interesting too.
I thought that was interesting because if that's the case, that's saying that's who made me larger than life. I get it. But, when I asked that question, I thought it would have been more so of like what he's done as an artist. But I'm not mad at his answer. Hell, if I made a good payday like that, I'll be saying the same thing, man. But it was like an interesting answer to that question.
Well, I think with Lady Gaga, we got to look at her with the same lens that we would look at a Kendrick Lamar. They don't make the same music, of course, but as far as artistry is concerned, it's a visual art that comes with them, a theatrical art that comes with them, performance art, and music. That's 4 different arts that come with them. So, I mean, that's a lot.
Right. Funny Lady Gaga story. Back in the day, I don't know if Mike knew it at all, but I had a homeboy that went to NYU, and he was friends with this girl named Stephanie Gramada, which is Lady Gaga's real name. So her and I connected on Facebook, I was like, who is this? You know, back in the day on Facebook, you just liking, you was finding chicks. I was like, who's this thick white girl? All right, because she had a little body on her, right? But she was, you know, artsy. She was doing music. And I think I went to one of her earlier joints way back in the day, like when she was at NYU. So little lady, we were Facebook friends for like 10, 15 years. But then she took her page down. But yeah. So
Yeah, you know, the crazy thing, the first time I was introduced to Lady Gaga, and I said the interview was a joint with Wale. And like I thought she was like from overseas somewhere because the way that record sounded. And then she became the Lady Gaga who we know. And then around time the word started getting out that Akon signed her. You know, that's something that he didn't publicize first. He talked about that in the interview. And when I found that out, I was like, now I see how he disappeared from music a little bit. You know, she had like this mega star effect, and he maneuvered to other avenues of doing stuff. Matter of fact, when I was in a chair, get my ear twisted today, the lady, the African lady, her name is Mrs. Miriam. She was telling me about Akon City over there, and she said it's amazing what he's doing over there and how he helps out around there. And it's not just in his country where he, you know, come from. It's in other spots in Africa too. He helps out. He kind of unites and he does a lot for the youth over there too, from what she said with the young men. So she had great things to say about him. So to know that he does some great things outside of music, giving back to where he's from, I think that's dope. And only if we had that type of stuff going on here. You know, we have hip hop artists that do philanthropy and dump a lot of stuff in the neighborhoods where they're from. But man, it feels so much more of that to extent with the big dogs. I mean, man, we could start turning stuff around for real.
No doubt. Let me get to these super chats real quick. Send me Mike's email so I can send him some stuff. Okay, yeah, we'll shoot you some stuff. Oh, you can do info at according to hip hop. That'll go according to hip hop. That'll go straight to Mike.
Sorry. I mean, it's gonna have to be us that turns things around, not us four, but us four too in media, because media is important, very important. But just as a people, it's gonna have to be us. No matter who you go with, left or right, it's not gonna be the people up top that come down to turn your circumstances around. It's going to have to be the people. That's regardless of left or right. So either way you pick, I really don't care, because I know to change stuff, it's going to have to come from the people. It's just, I think that I was watching a conversation with Dr. Umar versus Ish on Joe Budden's thing. And I think a lot of people like Ish, they are very comfortable. They have a nice house. They drive nice cars. They have money in the bank. They got their white woman on deck. So they're very comfortable. So it makes it hard for them to see, well, what is the problem? Well, we're not facing no problems. They can't see it. But for the people that are not living like that, which is the good 99% of us, I think that change is going to have to come from us. It don't matter who's up top, really, if we get down to the math.
No doubt. Let me get to the super chat real quick. Web Visibility with the super chat says, neither party is perfect, but only one party is responsible for blatantly anti-Black policies like dismantling the Voting Rights Act, voter suppression, and ending affirmative action. With Web Visibility, you have some great points, but I vehemently disagree with you. There's only one party that's responsible for anti-Black policies. That's not an accurate statement. I think the other party has had a history of doing anti-Black things, such as the 1996 crime bill, so many different things that were done that destroyed and dismantled
the prison industrial complex.
So yeah, so I think there's not a monopoly.
Trump is going to take out the Board of Education, so that's going to be gone. That your history will no longer be there. That's one.
How's that possible?
Your overtime pay will no longer be there.
Huh?
The ceiling, the cap on your medication for your grandma and your grandpa, that will no longer be there. So, and there are things that I can go down a long list of things that will no longer be there for you. So
shout out to the old folks, man. I
guarantee the young guys out there that are in their 20s and 30s, I guarantee one day you'll be in your 40s and 50s, and you'll start taking your health very seriously. It won't be about your chains and your J's and your Mercedes. It'll be about your body.
So Leroy, let me get this
Leroy.
So let me Mike before you go, Mike, before you go, I'm gonna say just so I get to understand this correctly. Trump's gonna take away education,
the Board of Education.
and medicine. That's a crazy motherfucker.
That's what he said. And he says he wants to get he's gonna deport like crazy. And a lot of people they're like, yeah, and I'm not mad at y'all, but I want y'all to picture this. If I tell you it's raining outside and I'm gonna catch every raindrop, would you believe me? No. Can you catch every raindrop when it's raining outside?
And we got to do some fact checks on here because I don't. So how is he taking away overtime? Because I thought he was saying no tax on overtime.
No, he's saying when you a lot of times for when you work overtime, right? They get pay and a half. So that pay and a half he disagrees with. He's like, either you're gonna work overtime, which he would prefer that you not do. He would prefer that there's a cap on the hours, but people are fighting him on that. But as far as time and a half goes and things like that, no. And there's a long list of things. I mean, again, conserve, y'all. The word conservative means conserve. Now in your mind, you're thinking, oh, that makes sense because we're 38 trillion in debt. What I'm going to promise you is we're going to be in the mid 40s pretty soon. Now, if you want to, and what I can also promise you is that when you make sacrifices, when you cut, you guys don't want your cost of living, you don't want to go up, right? You want it to go down. So there's a balancing act with economics. When you cut here, this goes up. When you cut this goes up. That's the scale of economics. So when you do your math on that, the inflation of the dollar, where we're at economically in relation to the other groups, Asians, Arabs, Mexicans, we got some work to do. But I love y'all. I'm not insulting y'all. Sometimes I will insult my own, but it's love. It's love that I'm doing that for. You know what I mean? It's love. You know?
No doubt. We got Super Duper in the building. And Mike D and Savon. We got all five. We got five. We got the five
Voltron.
We got the whole squad in the building tonight, man. So let's have a conversation. So Super Duper, man. What's your thoughts on this, man?
Hey, shout out everybody. Was really good, fellas. What's happening?
What's up?
It was good.
What's up, bro?
Hey, great job on that interview today, man. That was fire, man. It was a great look. You asked the right questions, man. Very professional, man. Good job, fam. Good job.
Appreciate that, boss.
Hey, I mean, since we on the topic, man, I wish we would have just did the election show so we could have got all this out the way. But since we on the topic, man, I mean, I think that I think that Democrats and liberals in general need to realize that men are men, man, and a lot of these democratic policies, they've been going after manhood, they've been going after the children, and they actually, the Democrats, I don't think is really as much as a MAGA thing. I think that people are just turned off by the policies that the Democrats been pushing and the style of politics that they plan. And it's not really about being real true down with MAGA, because I don't think most black people and most people that probably even really supported him really totally like Trump as an individual. But they do like the things that he's willing to fight for and the things that he's willing to speak out on. And, I think that the Democrats need to really understand that men are men and parents are parents. So when you go across the demographics, whether it be female or male in the white community, in the Latin community, slightly in our community and in every other community, parents were sticking together for their children, man. Like they was, no parent want their kid going to school in this drag queen storybook time.
I keep hearing
but that's the truth though, Leroy. I mean, you gotta look at
what policy specifically was that about? Where did that come
from? They were going to take Title IX funding. They were trying to pass a law, or they were trying to make it where schools wouldn't receive funding if they didn't allow boys that transition into girls play sports. They were going to withhold funding.
They were cutting free lunch for schools that wouldn't let trans.
Yeah, so that was the policy.
Yeah,
there were specific policies that they were going to do at the executive level. They were going to enforce that, and make that federal law. They were going to withhold funding if you did not allow boys that whatever they call it, into girls to play sports. They were going to withhold federal funding if you didn't allow that. So there were policies.
A
And,
concern,
and
a concern of a lot of us or a lot of people here was boys being confused about their sexuality.
well, it's not even really just that though, Leroy. It's the when Biden and them took office, one of the first things they did was allow the transgenders to play sports against the girls. I mean, what parent like? I got girls, man.
What
What dad?
policy?
What,
You know,
it's
like
not a
again, I hear what you're
Leroy,
saying,
Leroy,
and
Leroy.
I'm
I
gonna give
can't.
it to
Leroy,
even if
Leroy,
that
listen
was
to me.
true.
Leroy, listen to me.
What's more important, money?
Which party is championing this though? See, this is the thing. Like y'all, you saying policies, but when
Yeah,
Kamala Harris announced when she announced her campaign, she did it on the stage with a bunch of drag queens. And I'm not trying to come off as like being um anti-homophobic or anything like that, because what's done is done. But
right.
at what they doing though is that they going after the children. And like I said, when you got all these sexual books that people got to actually go up and protest and go to town hall meetings and read these books out loud and do all this stuff, people don't want all this stuff. Really, they don't want what the Democrats got going on socially for their kids. You know what I'm saying?
But
They don't want
that
sex changes for
okay,
minors.
okay.
You know what I mean? And like I
That's
think that played a bigger part in the election than
okay.
liberals
Okay.
really want to admit to.
I think that we as a people should be concerned with money. Before we're concerned about anything else, I think us
I'm,
getting our money right should,
I
because
think
the reality is you have your children in your home, your sons and your daughter. My son ain't gonna be doing no funny style shit cause he knows better. You feel what I'm saying? So I don't gotta worry about that. Cause
But
he came from
even
my
even if we said the money though, okay, so like that was even the bigger issue. The economy was another big issue, right? So people not having as much money as they was having under Trump too. So when we saying all this, when we like the Democrats didn't do anything to garner people to want to vote for them. They did none of the things that they said they was going to do through the first campaign.
true,
And like I
true.
said, this is nothing to do with MAGA, because I'm not a Republican. I would consider myself independent. I stay in the middle. I don't go into that voting for Republicans or Democrats because I'm black or because my mama said it. I'm not even playing that game. I'm just voting on pretty much the issues on what I'm either for or what I'm against. And for me personally, I was outraged at the Democratic policies that were going towards the children. And like I said, the sex changes, the abortions, the storybooks, drag queen time, all
Of
this
course. Of
this
course.
whole liberal agenda that they got was a turnoff to males in general. They
I
downplaying us.
understand.
The
So
Democrat Party
super,
downplayed us,
super. I'm
and they
around
wanted to go
children.
after our children.
I've been around children. I've taken kids to school. I've been around all kind of kids. I don't see the kids that are getting operations to their genitals. So I don't know whose kids that people are talking about, but that's not the kind of kids I'm seeing. Now, granted,
Leroy.
I know my
Just
one
because you don't
perspective,
see
but when you
something
say
doesn't
a
mean it's not
policy,
happening.
you got to be specific. This is the policy, Leroy, right here.
Hey,
Read
but
it. And it's
even when he
saying
say
that they
that,
are, and what you will find is that it's not that cut and dry. It's not that cut and dry as you're describing. Now, granted, I hear you. I'm not disagreeing with you. What I am saying though is I think that we're us not being focused on economics, healthcare, education, and just work. I think is hurting us because we're so focused on the 1% of 1% of 1%.
no,
And
we not focused on them. The Democrats are. And that's why when they get in office, they do these things for everybody else. They do these things for that 1% or that small population of people. And then they don't do nothing for us who've been voting for them 80% or more for over 60 years. And so like,
the reason black folks have been voting Democrat for a generation is because if you have a door and the door, I'm just saying a door, you either want to keep the door open or you want to close it. Democrats are not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, and they are not coming to save us. However,
Time out. That's
they
not
are the
true,
party.
brother. Hold on, time
Hold
out. I'm
on,
not
because
gonna
I
let you
hold
say
on.
that.
They are the party
I'm gonna
that
pull a
wants the
killer mic
door.
here. I'm gonna
They are
pull a
the
killer
party that
mic.
wants the door
I'm gonna pull a
open.
killer
The
mic here, man.
other
I'm not gonna
party
just
wants
let
the
you
door
say that, man.
closed. So
I'm not
when
gonna
you
just let you
when
say
you
that,
think you're
Leroy.
hurting Hakeem Jeffries,
No,
when you
listen.
think you
No,
when you think you hurt Hakeem
can
Jeffries,
I speak real
you
quick,
didn't hurt
Leroy?
Hakeem Jeffries.
Let him
You're
finish real
saying
quick, Mike.
stuff that's not true. You're
Let him
saying stuff
let him
that's
finish
not true.
real quick, Mike. Let him finish real quick.
I'm sorry, man. That's not true. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
So conservatives are, again, if y'all think that the conservatives is coming to help y'all, then show me what y'all are talking about.
You still
Can
misinterpreting
I
what
say
I'm really
something?
saying.
I want to clear up something. The reason why black people are voting for Democrats for 60 plus years is because of Dr. King and the civil rights movement. They've been riding the coattails of Dr. King and people from the civil rights movement ever since. And we feel like we owe it to them and that party because of what Dr. King and John F. Kennedy put together. The Voters' Rights Act, et cetera, et cetera. And we have just been blocking step ever since. We haven't had any real reason to actually vote for the Democratic Party outside of just this blind loyalty since the 60s. And that's what it is. And honestly, if we're keeping it really real, and if you really follow Dr. King and everything that he was about towards the end of his life, he would not be going along with any of these democratic policies that are going on right now.
In the end of his life, what did he die? What he was trying to organize a workers' protest at the end of his life.
Yes, for poor black people. He also was fighting for no. Can I finish? He was also fighting for reparations towards the end of his life. He was also fighting against the fact that the European peasants were getting bootstraps and getting funded while the black Americans were sitting here not getting the money that was owed to them. I don't think Dr. King would be cool with what's going on with the migrants in Chicago, in New York, getting debit cards, getting food.
And Trump is
shelter.
rocking like that?
What are you talking? What you say? No.
Trump is
Why
rocking
are you
with workers'
mentioning
rights?
Trump? See, you're doing exactly what you're accusing me of doing.
My fault.
This ain't got nothing to do with Trump. This has
That's what I keep trying to tell him, Mike.
Policy.
This has nothing to do with This has nothing to do with following the Republicans or supporting the Republicans or being MAGA. This has nothing to do with that.
Trump and MAGA as a
Democrats ain't put no
deflection when
policy
these
forward
people
in
aren't
50
doing
years.
what they're supposed to do to get the black vote. It's
Democrats
what it is.
Democrats ain't
Let
put
me get to the super chat real quick. Web Visibility with the super chat says Republicans ended affirmative action. This is also being used to stop blacks from setting up funds to support black business and startups. The Freedom Fund shut down because they were sued for being a black-only fund. We got to look into that Web Visibility. That's interesting.
I think that we are looking for people to blame and looking for sides to blame instead of recognizing the mechanisms of the system itself.
What, nigga, what are you talking about? The people you're speaking about are the system.
The Democrats have put,
the people
in 50
that
years, the Democrats have not
are the system. And you're sitting here telling me you think Dr. King would go out here and be good with the fact that black voters have been neglected for 60 years? And the fact that you got people who are just jumping across the border, whatever, for whatever reason, who are getting food and shelter over the people who actually built this country for free. You think that
let's say you're right. Democrats have done nothing in 60 years for black people. Does that mean that all of a sudden now Trump, that you're going to support Donald Trump? Now again, you're going to say I'm forcing one side.
It means that you're going to show your unhappiness with the people you've been supporting. You've been diehard supporting these people for 60 years and getting no results. Like Trump said the first time, what do we have to lose?
You mentioned the prison industrial complex.
I think that in 60 years, I think that black people have come up economically some.
It has nothing to do with the Democrats.
That's totally Democratic.
I think that those policies put in place.
This is what I will say. You
by
mentioned
Democrats.
You mentioned the prison industrial complex. Leroy.
Made it where we have put some more money in our pocket.
Leroy, you mentioned the prison industrial complex. Who put the prison industrial complex on steroids?
You're looking for a one-side answer.
I'm asking you a question. Bill Clinton's administration doubled that number for black immigrants.
You named Bill Clinton. That's one person.
All right.
I'm not naming no one person.
Okay.
I'm not naming no one party.
And you know what you can't do too? You can't name one Democrat in 60 years that ever benefited us anyway. So either way, regardless, man, for us to like go against the grain and show at least make these Democrats compete for us in one way or another. There's nothing wrong with us jumping ship. There's nothing wrong with us jumping ship for one election to show them who the value. They should know who the value. If they're gonna sit back and think about it properly, listen to the things that people saying, and actually come with something tangible the next election cycle. And then actually do it when you say you're gonna do it.
That's it.
All right, that's your opinion. That's your opinion. I don't believe there's nobody coming up there to help you. So,
if that's the case, then what do we have to lose then? I mean, if that's the case, what do we have to lose?
So why are you defending any side?
I told you because I'm against what the Democrats been pushing. That's it. I'm not for. They in bed with everybody. Everybody in the same bed.
You think Republicans and Democrats is that far apart from each other?
I know what's coming out their mouths, and I see what happened when Donald Trump said he's gonna do something. I know when Donald Trump, even if I was against it, when Donald Trump said he was gonna do something, we sat back and watched him for 4 years do everything he said he was gonna do, whether we was for it or against it. He got it done. Now, Joe Biden and them been sitting there for 4 years. And they ain't got no excuses for not doing not one thing from the last election that they promised to do. Not one. Not one thing.
So like Donald Trump said he would get rid of the immigration problem when he was there last time. We still have it now.
Well, it was at a record low. No, Leroy, it was at a record low when he left office.
I asked you if
it was at a record low, and he tried to build the wall.
I asked you if it's raining outside, can you catch every drop of rain?
Hey, let me get to the super chat real quick, and then Mad Max, I want you to kind of bring in your thoughts in the conversation. Web Visibility says, "Do you guys not realize these conservative judges will lock your black ass up with the toughest sentence possible? When you vote, or you get more conservative judges."
Hey, and this is another thing that we should be embarrassed about as black people and hip hop and that hip hop community. Why are we walking around living in so much damn fear?
Exactly.
Everything that I've been hearing from y'all been some scary ass talk. Like we going into slavery.
Talk about it, Super.
We going. They gonna take this. Why are we so scary now? All of a sudden, we worried about getting shot down in the streets. Now we worried about all this other shit. Why are we so goddamn scary right now? It don't even make sense. We're embarrassing ourselves.
I'm so fearful. I'm so fearful. Okay.
I've heard they're gonna put us back on plantations. They're gonna shoot us in the street. It's gonna be on site.
Since when we've been this scary? Since when we've been this scared?
Who is really afraid? Y'all brought up transgenders.
No,
a group of people that you don't know.
We're talking about protecting children, and we don't want our children being read to by transgenders and drag queens in our public libraries and our school libraries. We don't
want minors. We don't want minors.
How to protect children.
Leroy, we don't want minors who can't even get a tattoo, buy a beer, buy a Black and Mild or a goddamn Swisher Sweet to be able to go get a sex change without their parents' permission.
Which is in California.
You already know how to protect children anyway.
Bro, but this is the Democrats pushing these policies. This what don't you understand about this? So if people are rejecting the Democratic policies and what they fighting for, that's just what we are rejecting. Men across the board are rejecting these policies.
You need to visit some schools and talk with some children and see how many.
No, but Leroy, let me ask you a question though. For Mad Max goes, we're not making.
Because
let me finish. We're not making this up. These are actual policies that were articulated.
What's the name of it?
You can find them. I mean, I'm not going to Article 00612 in the California State Senate. I'm not going to list it off the top of my head. But
why is he acting like he don't know that these things exist? I don't even get it.
I'm not making this up. And there's only one party. There's only one party that was pushing forth these policies.
They do exist. What I'm saying is this. I have been around many schools. I have been around many children. I can't count a mass of children that are having that issue.
So why are they pushing it? That's the point. It's only a small percentage of this.
What's more important is the economics of these children's circumstances. I think them having access to money and education is more important than me fighting
I
over
agree.
whatever's
But so
happening to
I agree.
1% of 1% of
Leroy,
1% of
we
children.
agree with you. Well, why are they
You don't
pushing
agree
these?
with me because you're still talking.
No, why are they pushing these policies then? If I agree with what you're saying, right? The economics is the baseline for all. We should be concerned about that for all people in society,
They push
especially children.
education too. They pushed a
Yeah.
higher level of education, but y'all don't want that because you worried about what happens in a hospital room, but you're not
Man,
worried about what
schools been
happens in a class.
failing. Schools are in the worst position they probably ever been ever in history.
Again,
So I mean,
I'm
like,
not
I'm not
the
worried
fact.
about Trump getting rid of some department that's failing anyway. Our kids ain't benefiting from
If
that. It need to be overhauled.
when I make these arguments, people say, "Well, you must be pro abuse of children," and that's the problem. Because I make this argument, they're going to say I must be pro the abuse of children, and see that's such a limited space of thinking that I have a problem with that we're not talking about the economic access of our children. I think that they need to have access to money, opportunity, and a better education. I understand what people are saying about the medical procedures. Y'all ain't talking about how many pregnant black women is dying on the medical table. So why we keep talking about one issue when there's a myriad of issues? Y'all not talking about how many of us is dying from poor health. Y'all not talking about how many of us haven't seen a doctor in the last 10 years or a
But you not
decade.
talking about what the Democrats gonna do about
You
anything you
keep
talking
talking
about.
Democrats to me. I'm
But
saying
what?
the entire Washington is at fault. You keep saying Democrats, my brother. I'm saying the whole motherfucking empire.
Well, they can't focus on none of that because they
So
too
I don't
focused on
care.
focusing. They too
I'm
focused on focusing on the 1%, Leroy, like you said. They too
I'm
focused
saying
on focusing on
Democrats,
the 1 and 2%.
Republicans. I'm saying the whole empire. You keep saying
Hey,
Democrats.
let me do this. Let me get these two super chats, and then I really want Mad Max to go. So, shout out to Deuce Falco, man. That's much love, man. Leroy, when you visited the school, they had them there the week prior. That was supposed to be a joke. Web visibility with the super chat says, "You guys fell for the okey doke. Republicans distract you with the trans issues. Meanwhile, they pass tax cuts for the wealthiest, impose tariffs that will increase inflation, and dismantle healthcare." Well,
Math. This guy, I see some math.
well, inflation's at an all-time high or record high. Tariffs are just used as a negotiating ploy, and also the rising costs can be attributed to executive actions that were done by the previous administration by letting 12 million people across the border unchecked. But Mad Max, please go, please, sir, please go.
Yo, how y'all guys doing today on a
What
lovely
up, Max?
Saturday? Um, I want to preface my comments by saying, no, I did not vote. I will never vote. Voting has never done anything for me. You want me to vote for you, you must do something for me. And when I say me, I mean my community. Now, I'm not a black American. So, really, what the Democrats need to do is go give my black American some first. Then you circle back to me. I'll accept that too. But they lost because Kamala Harris, I won't even really blame her. I'll blame Joe Biden. Um, he was sleepy and he had no business even being president. And I guess halfway through the campaign run, he says he's dropping out. So now she has to go on the fly. And to be quite honest with you, she's not as charismatic as Trump. She really didn't give us no policies, and she played into basic stereotypes and thought she was going to win an election on the fly, freestyling like it's a cipher. That's why she lost. And
We're
I,
gonna get back to rap in a second, but go ahead.
but that's why she lost. And I also want to say to the
True.
sisters out there, to the sisters, I got love for the sisters. But if I have to hear one more sister blame black men for why Kamala Harris lost,
That's
listen,
false.
that has to stop because it's getting annoying now. Because as black men get the flack for everything, it's not even
Of course.
80, damn near 70. What was it? 78% voted for Kamala or something like that. 78% of black men.
That is very true what you're saying, man, Max. But I do still have to give black women some credit though, because they are fighting. And when I say fighting, I mean on the level of education, they are fighting.
Are they really?
I don't know if we're showing up to fight like they fighting.
Man,
No,
they fighting for their own demise, man.
but
If you supporting all these trans things, man, they fighting for a man to replace them. That's really what they're fighting for, and they don't realize it. They fighting for a man in the dress to replace them in the workplace, on the basketball court, on the volleyball field, in the swimming pool.
What do you
They
mean?
really fighting for that, and for them to be
They're fighting.
having
Black women
for
are fighting
women, yeah, they just don't know it, Leroy.
I think black women are fighting for their children.
No, they not. They definitely not fighting. They fighting to kill their children, and that's why 90% of them went out there to do that. They fighting for the right to do that, really. And they fighting for the right for a man to take their job. They already listen. Women already got enough problems as it is. They got a wage disparity. They got where they can't get enough jobs, and so now that you're gonna be allowing a man to put on the dress, get hired at some Fortune 500 company, and take your place as a woman. You're gonna allow this man to take your place. Now they got men running in Miss America pageants and things like that. Now you got women.
Are the black women you personally know doing that?
They are by supporting what they supporting. Yes, because every time you vote every time we vote for a Democrat, what they do, they take our vote and they run out and they switch it and they give it to somebody else.
Democrat. You're saying Democrat again, brother.
Because that's what this election was about. It was about being against the Democrats. It wasn't never about being for the Republican. It was never about being for the Republican.
I think you're missing everything.
But I will say, I'll say this.
I think black women are fighting to keep food in their children's mouth and clothes on their back and keep their children educated.
That's what's black men doing?
No, I know, and I love us as black men. This is no shot at us, but I appreciate the women, the black women that are stepping up to do this. I do not think they like men in dresses. I don't think that. I do not think they like having abortions. I don't think that. I think that they are fighting an uphill battle that they have always fought, and I salute that. So when people say that they, Kanye, well, black women are doing the most damage to us, I have an issue with that kind of talk about my sister, my mother, my girl, my daughter. I have an issue with that. You know what I mean?
All right.
Because I don't think they're fighting. I don't think they're fighting against us. I think black women have always stood by us, and they're having a crazy fight.
I'll say this, Leroy, because I think, Leroy, I want to address your other point about the money aspect, but I'll address this black woman thing because I got love for the sisters, and it's not all the sisters that think this way. But the biggest issue with the Democratic Party in reality is they come off as a new, fascist organization. Now you can say the same thing about the Republicans, and I do believe the same thing about the Republicans. But if you are a what do they call it, like a super conservative or extreme liberal, if you're either one of those, you believe in fascist ideologies, and there's no moderation. I think both can exist if there's in moderation. And black women, from what I'm seeing on the internet, not all of them, because I've seen a couple of them actually defend the brothers are not voting for Kamala or whatever. But a lot of them, they're talking nonsense. If the police, when the police get at the black men, don't call on us. It's like, is it really that serious?
Right.
And to the abortion,
that's a small group. The reality.
They're a very loud group. I'm not saying you're not right. But they're a very loud group.
When you say fascist, and I understand what you're saying, a lot of people try to make an equivalent to the far right by saying that there's a far left. By far left, they mean a man that likes to wear a dress and that is a very sexually questionable person. I hear you. But when you say that that's the equivalent to the far right, or you make an argument that applies that it's the equivalent, I think we are very in the dark about what the far right represents. And I think when you talk about fascism, they are on a completely different level of hatred that you have no idea is even ready for.
Let me say this, Max. Let me say this one thing real quick. Now, this is literally what she said, Leroy. This is not me making this up. They asked her a simple question. Do you believe that illegal immigrant prisoners that want to transition in prison should have sex changes? She said, yes, every prisoner that wants to transition should be able to get gender reassignment surgery.
I'm not interested in that, but
but she is.
I'm
she
not
clearly
interested in
but I'm not either,
private.
but she clearly was, and she said that taxpayers' dollars should be used for these changes.
You sure
That's
you
what
want
she
to talk
said.
about taxpayers' dollars? Because guess who's paying for Trump's agendas?
But listen, you keep changing the subject. I'm talking about this one specific
I'm
thing.
not interested in men's privates.
I'm not either.
Leroy just want to ignore the real issues that we bringing up, and he want to keep spinning this into something else.
I acknowledge, but
I think Leroy has some points. I think Leroy has points.
I agree with Leroy, but at the same time, I think that morally, for some people, some things morally outweigh the petty things and the fear that y'all talking about is what I'm saying. And morally, I prefer that I'll risk some money in my pocket if that's the case. If that's what we're gonna say, I'll miss some money in my pocket to hold down the morality of my children and to not have them pushed and swayed and like influenced by an outside culture that's really it's an unnecessary push.
And
it's actually it should half of these things that they push into these kids are not even like it's not even like suitable for children, like a gay lifestyle, man, like being gay. And like I said, I don't want to keep harping on the gay issue like that. I don't want to keep harping on the gay issue like that. But being gay is grown folks activity. You know what I'm saying? That's grown up activity. And for them to be pushing this so hard on the children, it's just weird to me. It's very weird, and I hate that we always have to say this, man, but it's demonic to me. The way that they are going after the children. They want you to kill the children, then they want you to dissect the children and chop them up.
You sound very fearful now. You're talking about fear earlier. You sound very fearful. I'm
not scared of nothing. I'm talking about what they pushing, man. And you like I said, you want to ignore that and just talk about money.
I acknowledge,
and I understand like that's
super again. I think that economically we are facing a money issue. So I acknowledge what you're saying.
Man, the Democrats ain't gonna fix that. None of the parties gonna fix that money issue the way that you trying to make it sound like.
The children are the greatest. I would defend children with my life.
So that's what we should be doing right now. Let's just defend the children. That's the most important thing. That little money in the end, man. Like that's not gonna help no matter which party is in power.
Money does help. I think money does help our problems, and I think economically we are facing an issue to where if we don't start focusing on economics, and that right there is gonna make it a fight with us and Democrats. So I'm down. I'm not siding with them. I'm down for that fight. But I think the more we keep focusing on homosexuality and not on money, I think that's a misstep.
I will say this about Leroy saying. I think the highest, the community with the highest like per capita is like the Asians.
Yes.
And they have the lowest voter turnout.
Yes.
So because
they got so much money that it don't even matter. No, they're so far gone. The Asians got so much paper that they're working on their great grandchildren's fortune. The Arabs are working.
Yeah, well,
Arabs are working on their children's fortune. Where do we have our children's finances sewed up yet? So I think we need to get focused, and I think we need to do it fast, not just us. I'm including me with y'all.
Well, Leroy, what you talking about has nothing to do with this election, man.
But Leroy, I agree.
I don't care who the president.
But Leroy, I agree with you on that. But the answer to that is black people as a whole need to stop voting. We need to stop voting.
I disagree with this.
No party truly represents us or our
A vote.
plights for
A
for
vote.
real. For real.
You're right.
I'm not saying
You're right.
I'm just saying they don't really represent our plights for real. We need to
You're right.
focus on ourselves, build our own capita up, and then have our children raise our children to be to go into politics and tell them while they're being raised that when you get in these buildings, this is what you're going to fight for. These are our policies that we want, and you're going to get it done. That's how
I,
you have to grow politicians. That's what the Kennedys did. That's what the Bushes did. All right. That's what they
I
did.
think when we raise our children, they're gonna come up. If we're raising them on freedom, justice, and equality, and that's in their mind when they become adults, then I do not believe that they are going to look at somebody like Trump and think that that's something I should be like. Now, that's one way of looking at it. I see Mike and Trevon dipped out already. There, but we got to get back to rap, y'all. But as far as us goes again, whether it's left or right, neither one of them people is coming down to help us. I don't think no involvement at all is the answer, but neither one of them is going to do anything and that we are going to have to do for ourselves at the end of the day. You know what I
No,
mean?
I agree. I
But I
agree
want
with
to
you
get
on
to
that.
this Nas and Primo and this Pharrell and this other thing. But
Let me get to the super chats real quick. Where visibility of the super chat says, okay, if you want to believe the guy who said he would build a wall in Mexico and will pay for it, the wall was never built, and Mexico never paid for anything. We'll see what he does this time. We will see. We will see.
You know how much it costs to catch 20? Let's say you catch 20 immigrants every night for 5 days. So you catch and you put them on a plane and you deport them back. How much money does that cost? Now,
Hey,
who is going to pay? Who is going to pay for
How
that
much?
cost?
No, Leroy, before you
You
go
think
super.
Donald Trump is going to pay
Hey,
out his pocket?
but Leroy, let me ask you a question though. Before you talk about the cost, who paid the cost to allow them with executive order to allow 20 million people in the country?
You
Just
ever
free
been to
for
Trump's establishments?
no, you're not answering my.
Who's
See,
working there?
you're not answering my question. You asked the question. I'm answering
Yes.
you a question.
Go ahead.
Who paid the cost to allow illegal immigrants through executive order to go to the border at record numbers? Who paid that cost?
In my entire lifetime, I have never seen a time where we didn't have that problem. Now
I'm
again,
talking about record numbers.
you're saying that it's a left or right thing. I'm saying the whole damn house don't care about
No,
us.
I'm telling you what happened, Leroy.
You're
On
not
day
telling
one,
me what happened because
I am telling you what happened, and
because
through
you think
executive order.
you think it's one side that creates problems for black folks and
That's
the
not
other
what
side
I'm
must be
talking about.
innocent.
I'm not talking about black. I'm talking about the specific issue of immigration. Right? There was through executive order, the remaining Mexico policy was rescinded, and there was a record number of illegal immigrants that came across the border a record number in recorded history from 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004. That didn't have to happen if that executive order was not signed. That's specifically what I'm talking about.
And who was the president at that time?
Joseph Biden was the president at the time.
Biden was the president in 2004.
No. Yes.
Okay. So now that you've made that clear, right? And do I look like I'm Joe Biden's friend?
It sounds like it.
Do I?
It sounds like it.
About the whole damn empire. You keep telling me about Democrats. Who's included in the empire?
Man, but you wasn't talking that empire talk, man. You was talking about voting for Kamala, and we talking about why Kamala lost. We talking about why Kamala lost. Really, but to go to that super chat, man.
Who delivers your food? When the houses get built in your community, who builds the houses? When the lawns get cut in your community, who cuts the lawns? Again, I'm asking y'all, if I told you to go catch every raindrop, can you do it?
Hey, to go to that super chat. I mean,
the answer is no.
That super chat where he was saying that he didn't build the wall. We can't say that he didn't try to build the wall. And if they would have listened to him back
They
8 years ago, we probably wouldn't have this. We probably wouldn't have this immigrant problem that we having right now.
Super. What
So,
Trump didn't
so to
tell
keep
you
it real,
is
I mean,
we
at
live
least
in
you
an
got to
era
give.
of
You got.
planes.
Hold on, Leroy. Let me just say this real quick.
We have
And
planes.
if we're gonna say that he didn't get the wall done, but at least he did start it, and he couldn't get the rest of the funding, and Mexico didn't pay for it, right? That's
They
which
can
is all
catch
true.
planes. They can catch planes.
Leroy, which is all true, right? He tried to build the wall. What did the Democrats try to do that they said that they was going to do last election? What did they
Again,
try to do?
if you go to
This is
Trump's
a question for
business
where
list,
visibility. This is
when
a
you
question
go
for
to
where visibility. Since we're talking about that, what did they even try to do? Because from what I
nothing.
remember, I remember black people out in the COVID pandemic, marching the streets, tearing up, burning up police stations, um,
The last 25
marching through.
presidents
Hold on, Leroy.
Super. The last
Marching through the
25
pandemic,
presidents.
asking the Democrats to pass a George Floyd bill, to pass a black hate crime bill. And what's the first thing Joe Biden did when he got in office? He passed the Asian hate crime bill, and he passed this sports bill so transgenders can play against girls. So all that marching everybody did, all that tearing up, all that remembering and saying everybody's name. He couldn't get that one thing done, but we gonna get on Donald Trump for finishing half of a wall.
But
Now come on,
you
like if
say
we're gonna
get
play this
one
game, we
thing
gotta play
done.
the
You
game.
say get one thing done again, Super.
What did they do? What did they do from the last election?
Super. You're paying for the wall, Super.
So what? I mean, so
Okay, so
what?
the reason why
I think
Super,
most
the
Americans,
reason why the wall is
would
not
rather
built,
pay for the wall. Listen, we
Super,
paying them food stamps right now. They
the
getting more food
reason,
stamps. They getting more food stamps than a single black mama with
the
4 kids.
reason why the wall is not built
One
is
male
because
Venezuelan,
you are not paying enough.
fam, is getting more food stamps than one black single mother with 4 kids.
Super,
One man Ukrainian is getting more food stamps than a black mother with 4 children. What you don't get?
Super.
So
The reason
I
why
would
the
have rather
wall is not built
pay for that
because the
wall
money comes
because
from you.
our tax dollars is going to give them $5,000 a month and over $1,800
Yeah,
in food stamps a
yeah,
month.
yeah.
So
And who?
we should have paid for that wall.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, and guess what? When you pay, guess who makes the decision on where your money goes? Is it you or them?
Hey, but back to the rap, man. We should have just did this on Tuesday, man. It would have been a great show.
Hey, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do a special show.
The
Wait,
last
let me say one
25
more thing. Let me
presidents,
say
who
one more
helped
thing
y'all?
though.
The
Hey,
last
let me
25 presidents, who helped us? That's
No, let me
the
say,
last 25.
Mad
but
Max go. Mad Max, want to go to the super chat. Mad Max, go ahead. What you got to say, brother?
because I understand what everybody's saying, but you know, to go back to the abortion thing. Look, I'm actually younger. I was recently in college, not too many years ago. This I'm okay if a woman has an abortion. I want to preface my statement by saying this: if they have an abortion due to a health complication to the baby or the mother, or due to them being forced to commit the act that was led to them being pregnant, or something along that line, or they're too young, okay, I get that. But you know, the 90% of the women in the country, or the 80% of women in the country having abortions are due to them being careless and due to their male partners being super careless. And that's the problem I have with giving sympathy to the whole woman's body, woman choice, the abortion thing. Abortion should be allowed in a specific case or specific cases.
Shit, they
I went
dying
to
on the
college.
table when they're dying on the table even when they want to have the child.
That's
A lot
true
of them
too.
dying on the table that way.
That's true too. But in the case you're saying, if they could catch that and say you won't be able to live if you give birth, then yes, abort the child. I'm not saying you can't do that or
I hear
whatever.
you, man, Max. And
But
I think the root of a lot of our problems is the money.
no, I agree with that. I think black people need to work on their economics and stop. Because the thing with black people is they always in everybody's business, and I don't know why black people end up being in all these social issues and dudes' business when we have our own problems. That's something that we have to
Exactly.
work on. We don't like being in other people's business. We have that you know the saying that goes, mind your business, but we never mind our own damn business. We over here fighting for other people, then they get benefits, then we cry, and I don't
Our
understand
energy,
why we
our
keep fighting for
energy,
them.
And then
Our
we get
energy
mad when we don't
is
get nothing out of the deal.
culture. Our energy
That's true.
is what America feeds off, because our energy is all over the place. When you look at someone like an Asian or something, a lot of times they'll have that neon green Buddha on their chest. Well, what they're telling you is I subscribe to the philosophy of this symbol. So that's what keeps them okay. We, on the other hand, don't know that we created the philosophy even behind that symbol, but we don't know that. But
No, but
again,
but Leroy, you're right.
we don't have a code. If we had a code of, they have a code of silence. I was going to talk about American Gangster earlier, and
Oh,
because G
Muerta.
Haven's back outside. But again, we used to have a code of silence.
Yeah,
Silence means
Omerta.
you don't say anything. We
Omerta.
silent. We have to speak about everything. Now we have control over media. Media is very powerful. Media is the top of the food chain when you talk about power. That's the media is the top.
Yeah, because
Because
they
that
program
controls
people.
psychology.
Yeah, they program people.
If you
I get what
study
you're
World
saying.
War II, you study Hitler and all that, when he took control of media, he was able to program people's psychology. So,
Right.
but we have to work from this way and work way down, but we don't have a code. When I try to even go into and again, I don't care what I don't expect all of us to agree with everything there, but there is basic fundamentals though. See, every Asian is not the same. But when it comes to that Buddha, they all pick a piece of Buddha and subscribe to that philosophy so that it saves their life. You know what I
And let me
mean?
do the
I
super
agree with
chat.
Leroy on that.
Let me do the super chat real quick. Web Visibility again says there have been multiple times when there was a bipartisan immigration bill and Republicans always killed the bill because they didn't actually want to solve the problem. Well, Web Visibility, I have to disagree with you again because, again, the problem.
Weren't the Democrats have, aren't there times where the Democrats have majority in office and they still haven't passed that bill?
Yeah, they waited to do this bipartisan bill, they waited until the election came about.
Yeah.
6 Democrats opposed the bill. The bill was going to give 9 million people amnesty, give them citizenship, and it was also going to allow 2 million illegal immigrants across the border per year, and also give them citizenship as well. So
Every year they got to renew these bills.
It was a bad bill, and they only introduced the bill because it was election time. 6 Democrats, including Bernie Sanders, voted against the bill. They don't tell you that. And also, this wouldn't have been a problem had he not done the executive orders in January 2021. I said 2004 earlier. I meant 2024. But in 2021, and had he not done the executive orders, then this wouldn't have happened.
The bills, y'all, they get voted on every year. So it ain't no bill that's gonna be like ironclad. There are some ironclad bills that go through a process, but most of them they're gonna get voted on. They're gonna get overturned, put back in place, overturned, put back in place, yada yada yada. So that's how the bills work. You know what I mean?
Back to hip hop now, fellas.
Back to hip hop. Where you want to go with it?
I forgot where we left off in the conversation.
I was about to go Nas and Primo, then Pharrell, then
Mike interrupted me. I didn't get to finish my point. My point was this: we were talking about Waka Flocka. Waka Flocka. This is the last thing we want to talk about. This. He had a response. He says, "Imagine living in a country that was built on free speech to ultimately find out free speech is only given to those who don't go against the system. A lot of people need to wake up. Y'all been used for a bigger agenda. Free speech is free speech. My decision for who I vote for is my decision. Y'all talking about freedoms. One of my meet and greet events in DC was canceled today because of some people's opinion, because they harassed a liquor store until they canceled the event. Then they spin it like I did something wrong for having an opinion. Is that freedom?" Good point, man. But let's get back to the music. I think that was whack. I think people should be.
Waka, you didn't vote at all.
He said he wanted to support somebody, and that he have a right to support, in spirit. So let's get back to the music. Where we want to lead? Where we want to start off at?
I'm cool with whatever. Y'all can go in any direction you go. I've been hearing some excitement now with the Nas and Primo thing. When I first said something about that, people were saying, we questioning Primo's beats. Again, I don't think we got nothing to worry about. That's one thing. We could go there. With the Pharrell thing, I encourage y'all to watch the movie piece by piece. I thought it was a great movie, and I think changing the frequency. This is a man that sees sound and color. I I think changing the frequency to something positive may produce positive results.
Right. Speaking of something positive,
And shout out to Absol.
hey, anybody in the according to hip hop, I'm gonna ask my wife to get me these, but if she can't find them, somebody in the according to hip hop community, send me a size 11 and a half of these joints. These Wu-Tang Nikes. They just came out. I think they all sold out. But if y'all see the pair, send your boy. I'll cash app you the money. Find out if you got 11 and a half. I want to cop those joints.
Right.
That's a positive
Those
note.
those is fly. I'll give them that.
I
Those
need,
is
I
fly.
need, I need that. I need that. I need that. So if you got 11 and a half, your boy will cash app you Zelle, Venmo, Apple Pay, layaway, Klarna, whatever the case may be, man. I need it. I need it. But anyway, that's positive. But you said some new music came out, Leroy. Go ahead, Super Duper. You were saying something, bro?
No, I was just gonna say, to going back to where y'all was talking about the album of the year nominees. I think it'd be a great look, man, if Dolce could win that. I think it would be a great look for
Oh,
female rap.
brother.
It would be a shift. I think if she would win that, man. I'm actually rooting for
Why do you
from
say
from
that?
the. I just think just for female rap, man. Female rappers. Look, they're gonna be the next stars for a while. So we're gonna have to deal with them. They're gonna be around. But wouldn't it be nice if we can get them to start talking about a little something like just,
Okay.
up in their game, And so I think that if she can win, it would be a nice inspiration. It'll show these females that they can get it done in more ways than one. So
So
I'm rooting for her.
so I'm guessing you guys already talked about the Grammys then.
Let's go back because since we were so rudely interrupted by Mike. We were rudely interrupted by Mike. I don't like that. I'm gonna call it Monday and rudely interrupt that show. But the Grammy show, best rap album. We just talked about this. We said Might Delete Later is nominated. The Auditorium, We Don't Trust You. The Death of Slim Shady and the Dolce joint. I got Common and Pete Rock out of this list.
I don't think Common and Pete Rock are gonna win because I think Common and Pete Rock are just being used for their name. To
You
be
don't think
honest with you,
they had good? You don't think they had good music on their album?
it's not about what I think. I'm telling you that I think it doesn't matter what I feel about the actual music. I think the Grammys I've only nominated Common and Pete Rock because of they understand what Common and Pete Rock mean to the actual lore of hip hop. I don't think they nominated them for them to win
Okay.
anything.
Okay.
That's what I'm basically getting at. I have an
Okay.
issue. I have an issue with the Grammys nominees because we got to now scrutinize my
Let's
favorite
make
my favorite rapper to hate
let's
on.
make musical arguments.
No,
I
no, no,
hear
no, no.
you.
These are gonna be musical arguments.
Make it musical.
No, I'm gonna make it musical. No, I'm not gonna delve into anything else. Why do
I know.
we
I know.
pray? Why do we praise a dude who gets nominated and all his competition is trash?
The same reason why Supa just mentioned Dochi, because I think there's a musical component that the Grammys is hearing. They hear the music. Now, what TDE does do, shout out again to Absol's new album that he just dropped. Musically, their music is on point. Now, do I like everything? Do I think everything is the greatest? No, but when we talk about transitions into beats, progressive sounds, cadences, Kendrick, Dochi, Absol, they're gonna do 20 different flows and cadences throughout an album. Now the Grammys is hearing all that. So I'm saying musically, they still got an argument.
All right, I kind of get what you're trying to tell me, but to me, it just comes off as you're trying to sell me on one real label. And I'm not even gonna say that because they didn't really nominate Schoolboy Q. And to me personally,
Yeah.
Schoolboy Q is the best artist to ever come out of TDE. That's just for me personally. He's the best rapper, overall rapper, in terms of vocals, flow, beats that he picks to rap on, and out of that whole camp that's ever came through that camp that I could remember. But Dochi, I think she's being kind of forced. I think that's pandering, but it's whatever. You know, do I think she's gonna win the best rap album category? Um, she has a chance. Most likely that's gonna go to Eminem though. But you know, that's most likely go
Not
to Eminem.
nominated though, is he?
He is
He's
nominated for the
Yeah,
nominated
Death
for
of Slim
best.
no,
Shady.
yeah, he is.
Oh,
Yeah.
is he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's nominated. So I think that's gonna go to him.
I
I don't
mean,
see I don't see anybody else winning that. But some of them other categories, like, and this is why I'm saying we have to really scrutinize that whole side because DJ Mustard got a nomination for producer of the year for what?
for the Not Like Us.
Nah,
Yeah.
come on, son, come on.
I hear you,
Hey, no, he
but
got more than that though. He got a couple tracks that's been hot this year.
What's
I
the
can't
tracks?
argue with
I
them.
can't I can't think of him off top, but he got I want to say he got an R&B track. I can't think of him off top. Like don't give me the line, but he got more than one hot song that was hot this year.
Yeah, but they're not gonna pick what we would pick as, if I went up there talking about Makami and Blue, and they're gonna be like, "What?"
But Leroy, but Leroy, thank you for mentioning this guy's name because I get a lot of slack for the people I like. Blue is one of the guys I actually like, and I actually liked his album. I think, to be honest with you, of all the albums I heard this year, if I'm picking an album based on skill and just musicality that I prefer, he had the best rap album.
I
He
got a
had the
surprise for
best
you.
rap album.
I got a surprise for you pretty soon. I got a surprise
Who
for
you
you.
talking about? Makami?
No, we're talking about Blue.
No,
Oh,
Blue in
oh, oh.
Exile.
Hey,
I
I want
thought
to say I want to
Blue
give a
had the best rap album. Oh, my bad.
no, that's okay. I just want to give a big shout out to somebody that we didn't mention that got nominated for a Grammy. Lotto, she got nominated for Big Mama. So shout out to Lotto. Shout out to
No,
Lotto.
come on with this
Yeah.
lotto stuff,
Shout out
bro.
to Lotto. I just want to put that out there because we didn't mention it. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
So shout out to
Glorilla got
Lotto. You know what I'm
nominated
saying?
too. So
Yeah.
shout out Glorilla, the best
You
female
know,
rapper in the game.
in my opinion, though, I do see that, and I know this is not a hot take, but some of the decisions the Grammys make, I can see why they made the decision, and I'm not mad at it because a lot of times they are listening to the music. Like I've said, if you're gonna talk to me about Common and Pete Rock, I understand everybody got their opinion on what they do, but musically, they did deliver. To me, you know what I mean? So
I
some
just
Hey,
some
think
Ma-
I just
decisions,
think Common and Pete Rock
yeah.
is just a name. They know what Common and Pete Rock mean. I don't think Common and Pete
Okay.
Rock realistically have a real chance to win any of
Okay.
these awards.
Hey,
That's just my personal opinion.
let me give you another nomination. Best rap performance nominees are Enough by Cardi B, When the Sun
Never heard that
Shines,
song.
When the Sun Shines again, Common, Pete Rock, and Pasta Noose, Nissan Ultima, Dochi, Houdini, Eminem, Like That, Future, Metro Boomin, and Kendrick Lamar, Yeah, Glorilla, and Not Like Us, Kendrick Lamar. Those are the best rap performance nominees. I got
But see, but that's a setup for Kendrick to win. How you not gonna
Ooh,
pick Not
I
Like
don't
Us?
know about. I mean, again, no, I hear your point. I can't say I don't know. I hear your point, but Kendrick again, like some people like looking at it like Kendrick is like cheating, but he is just when you take Drake's head off, you can't cheat that. You either gotta
No,
do it or not do it.
I
no,
You
mean,
saw the man do it.
but Leroy, I hear what you're saying, and I don't mean to cut you off, but this is like years with Kendrick. Ever since
Right.
Good Kid, Mad City, it's been let's nominate this dude for a bunch of Grammys every time he decides to show up,
Okay.
give him all the awards, and pander to him. And
Okay.
people are they're tired of it. It's
hey,
like, all right, this is getting
but
ridiculous now.
come on now, Max. Though, like, come on, we gotta swallow some of that hate, bro. You got to. I mean, like, what other songs besides Not Like Us and Like That are like? Can you say this year that have been hotter than those two songs? Like, come on now, like this, just keep it real, whether we like it or not. You can't deny how hot they was. Them songs was everywhere.
Right.
It was back to back.
They were. I'm not
Gotcha.
saying they weren't hot. That's cool. But are we basing it if it's hot, or are we basing it based on quality?
I
Okay.
And
mean,
and it,
Okay.
and the songs that they pick, and go look at the other songs that they pick. They're not gonna vote. They're not gonna pick them songs. Like they just throwing songs out there.
I
I think
got One second, Super Duper. I got to clarify somebody in the chat. I know my Poets and Rhymers said I don't like Rhapsody. It's not true. I did like her album, Please Don't Cry. I think we reviewed it when it came out. The song with Hit Boy Asteroids was dope. And she is nominated as well. She is nominated. She's not Lotto, but she is nominated for a Grammy for 3 a.m. with Erykah Badu. That record was nominated for a Grammy. But Rhapsody we did like, and you're going to be surprised at the end of the year. Super Duper and I have a list that we're putting together for the best group albums. Leroy, we're gonna have our list of the best albums. I think Mad Max, you can contribute as well. I know Servon, Mike. So we're gonna show Rhapsody some loves, but I'm sorry to cut you off, Super Duper. Go ahead, brother.
No, I mean I wasn't saying nothing important. I mean I just think that when you pick between those songs that they selected, like we gotta pick between what the Grammys put on the board. I mean it's not a wonder that Kendrick gonna win one, like between like that and Not Like Us. I mean, it's a given that. Yeah, it's a given. I mean, come on now, we can't hate. Like,
but are they picking those? Are they picking weak? But are they picking weak songs on purpose? Are they picking weak songs on purpose so they can vote, so they can get him a trophy?
Mad Max, is this a weak year in hip hop?
Of course, it's a weak year in hip hop.
All right, then. So I mean, they got
it's weak, but if I
it's a weak year.
If I go up in there and I'm saying, okay, I want y'all to pick some boom bap records, they're gonna look at me like, nah, we're not doing that. They're not.
It's a weak year based on if
I say
what
I want
they're
y'all to pick
looking
West Side
at.
Gun, they're gonna be like, nah, bro. You know what I'm saying? They're not.
I mean, even us as hip hop heads, if we had to go against that Grammy list, I mean, I think it'd be a toss up even between us. I don't think there's no real major standout this year. I mean, I know Common and Pete Rock, that you get a lot of respect from our crowd and from the hip hop head, but really, who else is really paying attention to the album?
I do gotta salute that though, because for the adult contemporary rap, I'm gonna keep trying to push that agenda until it's an actual lane in hip hop. Because I believe when you're 40 and you're 50 and you still have something to say, I believe you should be heard.
Yeah, one thing I did notice on this Grammy list, and I'm not a big fan of the Grammys and it doesn't really matter because we're gonna have our own according to hip hop awards and list at the end of the year. But I saw Samurai didn't get no love. The Lupe joint, they didn't give it no love.
It was weak.
Samurai would be up against the same group, and Samurai is lyrically. We all know what Lupe is capable of, and shout out to his initiative with the Nishikawa Aido Club. It's a martial arts club. Again, if you got your kids in martial arts, I grew up doing martial arts, raised under black men that taught self-defense. That's an important thing for children to have. Defend yourself. You know what I mean? But Lupe would still be up against Eminem. He would still be up against Rhapsody. He would still be up against Common, Kendrick, Doechii. So the Rubik would still be there, even if he was included. You know what I mean?
Hey, not to get back in politics, man.
LL Cool J, no love.
But his album was a little bit added too late, so he didn't make the mark. But not to get back in this politic realm, but I wouldn't be surprised if Eminem win that, just because he showed his face at that Democratic convention, and it got to be a reason why they got him out the house. So he just out here showing face. I wouldn't be surprised if he wins just based on that.
On the converse, though, that there were people upset at Kendrick. It was a poster we put up on the Court in Hip Hop saying Kendrick's silence on endorsing Kamala Harris, the first black woman for president, exposes the hollowness of his so-called activism. I think that's real unfair. That's real unfair.
Yeah, what if he doesn't subscribe to anybody in Washington?
Right, I think that was unfair. I think that was a low blow. I didn't like that. I'm not.
What if you don't like their policies and politics? I mean, everybody got to live, man. We can't be jumping down everybody's back because they disagree politically, man.
This is not political, but another thing I want to say in this media is it is kind of difficult for me to just bash on an artist. I'm not saying that other people can't do it. Everybody, y'all free to say what you want, but I'm saying tell me what you like. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear, in this pod space, everybody's gonna create their list. You're welcome. Okay. And for the end of the year, the rap album thing, everybody's gonna come with a certain perspective. There are other things I could say you're welcome about, but I'm gonna load that clip later. But when we start bashing an artist, tell me what you like. Like, that's what I want to hear, so I could go listen to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to hear what you like.
Man, I think that's a weak excuse. I've been hearing y'all saying that in the chat lately and shit too, and I think that's weak, man. I mean, like, if we're gonna give our opinions on the album, give your opinion. Just don't be hating. If you're gonna be honest and say, like, I thought the album was mid, and it was just all right. Ain't nothing wrong with saying that. I mean, if
There's nothing wrong with that. There's
I
nothing wrong.
don't have to tell you if we talking about J. Cole's album.
There's
I
nothing
don't
wrong.
have to tell you. I don't have. If I say I don't like the album, I don't have to change the subject and tell you how much I like Killer Mike album or something like that. Like, I don't have to talk about it. I can just let's just stay on topic. If it's not hating, it's not hating. I'm never.
When we go, when
Me
people go
personally, man,
10
I'm never
weeks,
talking from a hater's perspective. I just give my honest opinion and keep it moving. I really like.
when people go 20 weeks talking about how much they don't like Kendrick Lamar, it's like, bro, I heard you in the first 2 or 3 weeks. You ain't got to tell me for 20 weeks that you don't like Kendrick Lamar.
I mean, but if the subject is Kendrick Lamar and we discussing either his discography or a specific song or something like that, and we giving our opinion, I mean, what's the point of having a topic if we can't give our opinion?
But I
And
mean,
then
after you give your opinion, you got to
we
know
don't have to be
heard you.
we don't have to be so robotic in our reactions and what we expect from each other either. People can have different opinions, man. It's like once you black and you different and you go against the crowd or you go against the grain of what everybody else think you should be saying and feeling, they want to throw you away. They want to cancel you. You know what I'm saying? Like, we should be able to say, I don't like Eminem, I don't like Kendrick, and this is why.
Eminem, if you tell me you don't like Eminem for a month, you ain't got to tell me for 2 years how much you don't like. Like, bro, I heard you. Now, again, if you want to keep telling me that, that is fine. All I'm saying is a lot of in this pod space, from the people making comments, we heard you the first time you said it. Like, we heard you. So you don't have to keep pressing it, pressing it, pressing it, pressing it. If you don't like something, we understand. But just tell me something that you do like.
Are you saying you tired of Mike D's Eminem takes, Leroy? Is that what you're saying? You say you tired of Mike?
Mike D is my guy, and personally, I think Mike D is great at what he does. I study the delivery of what he brings to the table in podcasts, but it ain't just this that ain't from Mike D. That really wasn't from Mike D at all. But since you brought it up, Mike D ain't the only person that makes them kind of takes he's not the only one. He's not the only one that makes them Kendrick type tapes. He's not the only one that gives an opinion on what he doesn't like. There is a whole long list of people doing this, and I'm saying it's okay. But when you constantly do it over and over and over, you have to know when an artist is just not for you, and that's okay. You know what I mean?
I'll say this. I'll say this about the Kendrick Kamala thing. I don't know why people care that he didn't support Kamala or did or whatever. I don't even care. That's not. I don't care about that. I don't even understand why that's the topic. Or
It got to be
his
something.
fake black activism or his fake black activism. I don't listen. I only care when you telling me that dude is top 15, top 25 all time. That's when I lose my mind. It's like, all right. But outside of that, I really don't care about that kid.
I mean, celebrity endorsements didn't work anyway, so what difference would it make? They had they had Taylor Swift, Beyonce, they had Eminem, they had everybody that like what difference would Kendrick Lamar gonna make?
They had Megan Thee Stallion, who has a bachelor's in a health and something like that, and she was out here just shaking butt. I mean, come on, man, you wasn't even using her right. I mean, she has a bachelor's in that. Talk about that or something.
I mean, I
Whatever.
think I think that a lot of us artists, we're talking about the artists. So when I say black people, I'm just talking about black artists now. I think that it's a frustration that is showing its head. It's always been there, but a frustration at the political world is coming to the top. I'm not mad at that frustration because I think it's warranted, right? But I mean, I think at the base level, once I think there's some things that we all agree on. And we're just not saying the things that we agree on. When I talk about, economics, education, healthcare, I think those things we probably all agree on. So I think if we spend more time talking about what we agree about rather than kind of just pinpointing everything we want to fight about, I think that would be more productive,
I
Yeah.
just think too, man. Anytime somebody go against the herd, man, like understand and listen to what they said, and don't just like throw hater on them. Don't like we throw labels on people too quick and too fast, man. Like when people should be just heard and understood, and understand where they're coming from, and then you can actually see if it's just pure hate or not. So listen but understand it before you just throw out, yeah, he hating on West Side Gun or he hating on Eminem or whatever. If this is the topic and we giving our opinion, ain't no time to sugarcoat on your opinion if you really giving your true opinion. If you're gonna sugarcoat your opinion, it's not your real opinion.
And I
Also,
also I
oh,
also
oh,
don't
go
think
ahead.
there's gonna be an album or an artist that we're all gonna like. I think those days are gone.
I
Like
don't even think those days ever existed.
the artist that everybody likes, I think those days are gone. Like because we have the internet now, meaning I'm gonna hear 100 different opinions about one guy. So we're not gonna just like everything the same. No, the game's too fragmented. So we got to stop acting like there's some standard of excellence that one guy is gonna fulfill for every demographic. That's like at this point, that's impossible.
Did y'all?
But I'll say this because I remember being a kid and I'm younger, but I remember older artists getting flamed up too when they put out some stuff that people didn't like. I
That's
I
true.
I'm gonna keep it funky. I did not listen to I Am from Nas in full, and I damn
Right.
sure never touched Nostradamus until I got to college. Old heads was killing those albums every day, and I'm talking about '02,
Yeah.
'03 when I'm 6, 7 years
I
old.
mean,
They
believe it or
saying them
not,
albums is straight
but
dookie.
believe it or not, people were frying it. People were frying it was written. If you in the street, people were frying it was written. Now to us, that's an undeniable classic. I get it. But in the street at that time, they were saying, "Oh, you got it was written. Well, I got all eyes on me." So what are we talking about?
No,
Like
but but
that?
but but
You
but,
know what
but
I'm saying?
no, I agree with you what you're saying, Larry. But I'm just saying, like, we do too much coddling of these new dudes. It's like, oh, you can't give them no harsh criticism, or somebody's always
I
hating.
get it.
Bro,
Yeah,
I
that's what
heard
I'm saying.
I heard people
I get it.
slander Nas. It made me at 5, 6, 7 years old not listen to two albums.
But
Two
the
albums till
reason
I
why
got to 20.
now again, I'm not going to tell people what they can or cannot say because they're not going to listen anyway. And I think a lot of what people are going to say is going to continue. But the reason why I would say pick a route is because if you take an album like Ab Soul, right? If I talk about Ab Soul just dropped his album. If I talk about Soul Burger, if I talk about everything I don't like, by the time you get to the end of that, you're gonna be like, man, this album must be trash. Now, so I'm gonna talk about the things I do like the wordplay, like the sentiments behind what he's saying, like so like the flows and the cadences. So when you go and listen, yeah, there's gonna be some things you don't like, but the reason why I'm pinpointing things that I do like is because I want the things that's dope to remain in the culture. So when I'm talking about his wordplay, his scheming, or so, I want those to be remain. If I just talk about everything I didn't like, I may be throwing the baby out with the bathwater.
And to people in the comments, yes, Nostradamus was ass. I get that. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, I'm
Wait a
making
minute.
my point.
Wait a minute. It wasn't when I go back, when I think about, Nostradamus, it had Come and Get Me on it, had Shoot 'em Up, had Rule, had what else
Wow,
did it have?
man.
No, Rule wasn't on the album. It was what was
No,
that?
rules on Stillmatic.
Yeah, so,
Yeah,
so
Rules on Stillmatic.
lyrically, I think it's great.
Nostradamus is on
Musically,
that joint. Project Windows. Um Damn, what else was on that joint? I don't think it's I wouldn't call it ass. It just wasn't I
No, but
am.
I like
musically,
I am. I like I am. I am. I thought was dope. It's just that I am has some bad cuts like Doctor Knocking Boots and
that was the
KISS
B side.
ING. Oh
That
come
was
on,
the
man.
B side to Nas's like, which even when I got the vinyl as a teenager, I was disgusted. Now, because
Doctor Knocking Boots was crazy work. That
I
was
love
Hey,
crazy.
Nas's like, and when I
I
turned over that vinyl and saw Doctor Knock Boots, I was like, I get it, but I don't like it. You know what I'm saying? But
I
I
would
do
say
want
that.
to talk to y'all about this Pharrell movie real quick. If you but go ahead.
No, I was going to just say I don't think Nostradamus is ass like that in the in as far as like overall hip hop, but I think it's as
Was to Nas.
yeah, it's as for Nas. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's as for Nas in his in his discography. It's it's one of the weaker ones, but you put Nostradamus in somebody else's catalog, it's a great album. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't knock what Nas was trying to do because Nas is trying to play both sides of the game, meaning he's trying to uphold the lyricism, but also sell a lot of records too. And I understand that the mentality behind that, and I'm not against that. So I
And
understand what he was trying to do. It's
and
just
I also get that Nostradamus was a play on Nostradamus, and he was trying to forward progress what he wanted to happen in the future or foresee. I
yeah,
get that too. It's just it wasn't executed the way Nas should have, to me, in my opinion. But there's the fact that but the whole point of that was not to talk about Nas or get at Nas. The whole point of that was I heard people diss Nas for years on those albums. I've heard people diss Jay on certain albums that he's dropped for years. Right? I've heard people get at Big for
right.
certain reasons, Pac for certain
Everybody.
reasons, Redman for this, 50
Yeah,
for that. So, like, when people say,
everybody can get it.
"Oh, you're too critical on these new dudes," no, you coddle these new dudes because the problem is, you forget about the old dudes and then you act like when these new dudes come up with anything, they
Mad
just put them
Max.
over dudes.
Mad Max, I've heard you go at Kendrick multiple times. Sometimes you go at Kendrick for things that are out of his control. Like people are just putting him up there because he's the most popular guy. Him being popular is out of his control, Mad Max. He can't do nothing about that.
I get that. I get that, Leroy. But me, to me, I'm one of these type of people. I don't really care what these dudes are, if you like their music or not. I really don't care. But when I just hear certain names, like it's like when I hear like LeBron James, people tell me LeBron's the second greatest basketball player ever. I just gotta make the jazz face. It's just something about when you say it. It's like, nigga, what you talking about? Like, come on, man. He's better than Jordan. He's better than Magic Johnson. He's better than no. And they overpraise him. Kanye West is like that. I think Kanye West gets praise for stuff that the praise that Kanye West gets, I think should go to Q-Tip. I think I've been thought Kanye West was overrated. But yeah.
Kanye West, he brings what he brings to the table. Again,
If
I'm not
Kanye
trying
West
to
if Kanye
hijack
West
that
is overrated,
conversation.
and Dr. Dre is way overrated. But go ahead,
No,
Switch.
Dr. Dre actually brought something to hip hop. Don't do that, Ron.
They both
Dr.
brought
Dre brought something to hip hop. That
what
G Funk was real.
Kanye, what he did with soul samples in the early 2000s, we gotta salute that, man.
Yeah,
We have to.
he was biting off Bink and Jay Dilla. I mean,
Okay, all right, I hear you, but it sounded good. We gotta salute that.
I,
we give him. I give him credit for that. I give him credit for the
Yeah,
blueprint and certain songs
yeah.
like that. I'm just saying when I hear it's just to me when we all Kanye's good.
I hear you.
He's good, but when I hear, oh my God, you don't like today. I saw somebody on Twitter talking about because Casanat and Glorilla were meeting up or whatever, and Casanat was playing the piano, and he was playing the keys to Runaway, and Glorilla didn't immediately get Runaway, and it was like, and a guy quoted was like, "How do you not know Runaway?
Right.
You don't know hip hop and that type of stuff," and it only happens with those type of fan bases, Kanye's and the Kendricks. That just blows my mind.
And
Pause.
let me correct you one more time again. Do you understand? I'm not a big LeBron James fan. I hate to get this real quick because I know you want to talk about the Pharrell movie. I know super duper you want to go. Then I want Leroy to talk about the Pharrell joint. But you understand this man LeBron James with the 10 straight NBA finals?
And
You understand
and
that?
he lost 6 of them.
But he went to 10 straight finals though.
He
10
lost
straight.
6. He lost
Okay.
6.
All right.
I,
All right.
but
All right.
He
still,
lost
man.
6.
What?
No, I'm just saying I'm not saying LeBron's not great, but I mean, there's been other dudes who went to around same amount of finals and they won more. And they
But
have a winning record in the finals.
Michael
hey,
Jordan didn't go to 10 finals. He didn't go to 10
And
finals.
yet Michael Jordan still won more championships than LeBron.
since we're gonna talk this basketball, man, I don't think it's outrageous for people to have LeBron at number two. But for me personally, I don't have him over Magic Johnson either.
He's
I mean,
not better
Magic
than
Johnson,
Magic. Come on.
man, you got to look at what Magic did basically, and really to keep it real, in 11 years. I mean, he got 5 championships basically in 11 years, man. Come on now.
Man,
But I think the
LeBron averaging
people,
26 points, 27 points in year 20, man. Come on,
I
man.
mean, but
Let's be
that's,
for
you
real.
know,
Let's be for real.
that these point stats, man, you know, the game didn't change. The fouls is different. Everything is a little different. So I mean, if Magic played in this era, I think Magic would average 25 or something too. I mean, it's a different era, and points and stats, you know, they mean something, but they're a little bit more watered down right now, man.
it's a way you could look at it. Right. And a lot of people, they wasn't around for Jordan or Magic's. They came in the Kobe LeBron era. So their point of view is what it is. You know what I mean?
Let me
I
do
mean,
So
super
I
Magic
chat.
came in the
Johnson, man,
Kobe and LeBron era. I came in the Kobe LeBron era. And yes, at first I did think Kobe was better than Michael Jordan when I was like 18,
Yeah.
16,
Okay.
17.
Yeah.
Once you get older and you actually care about the sport or the genre that you're talking
Right.
about, and you dig and you actually understand what you're talking about and understand what you're looking at. You just can't be just saying stuff like that. It just infuriates me. I'm
No,
just sorry, it just does.
let me do the super chat, and Leroy, I want you to talk about the Pharrell movie. Web's visibility with the super chat says LeBron is the second greatest of all time. KD couldn't beat him, and Steph couldn't beat him, so they had to join forces to beat him. That is true.
Well,
That's the first thing I agree
Steph
with
beat him
you
in
all night.
2015.
That's the
Steph
first thing
Curry
I
beat him
agree.
in 2015.
That's
Stop
the
it.
first thing I agree with you all night. Leroy Green, talk to us
And
about this Pharrell movie.
LeBron couldn't beat a 40-year-old Tim Duncan.
I'll keep it quick. You know what I mean? The Pharrell movie. So if y'all got time tomorrow to check it out piece by piece, I barely just saw it last week, so I'm late.
What's it on? What's it on?
I watched it on demand. But
it's at the movie still, ain't it?
I don't believe so.
I think I want to say it was at the movies. I know I seen it in the theaters in Milwaukee.
Okay, yeah, look it up. Look it up wherever it's at. If you can watch it, watch it, because again, it's a Lego movie. It's so the kids can watch it too. It's real colorful, but he gives his story too. I'm more concerned about the story, right? So he talks about how he was in high school. He was in the same class with Missy and Timberland before they even knew, that they were going to be who they were going to be. And that's just crazy to me. They talked about, talent shows and playing music in the garage and stuff. They talked about Pharrell talked about Chad's gifts musically, and I had never really heard that before. Maybe it's me, but Pharrell gave Chad his props for his musicality, and they had their band, the Neptunes, which the apartments he used to live in was Atlantis apartments. They're from Virginia. He talked about a lot of times making beats that people didn't pick. So producers, sometimes there's beats that nobody's picking, and you're like, man, this beat must be trash. No, save those beats, okay? Because you never know but somebody could take that old beat you made from 10 years ago and turn that into a hit song. So keep those beats, y'all. You know what I mean? But the beats are even a character. When he makes the beats, they transform into colors and stuff. That's cool. He talks about playing beats for Nori. Nori used to count his bars by saying, what. So while he's counting his bars, Pharrell is recording that for the hook. That's fire. So then he goes into all the people he worked with, from Jay to Gwen Stefani, Snoop, Justin Timberlake, Busta Rhymes, Usher, Khalees, Britney Spears, Nelly, Mariah Carey, just the crossover records. We can't be afraid to cross over. He talks about going to clips. Pusha T was in the streets. He was down on his luck. Anybody that's really been out there knows that ain't fun. We like to make it sound fun, but when he got to Pusha and said, look, I got something for you. I need you to get up here right now, or else this beat's going to Jay-Z. He got up there. We got grinding. So he talks about the backstory of that. He talks about Friend. He talks about Kendrick Lamar. He was feeling a way about the racial tension in America, and he made a beat. Kendrick came through and made It's All Right. That had an impact. So overall, I just feel it's a dope hip hop music. I mean, a dope hip hop movie. If you want to know about that Pharrell's backstory, and they did it in a dope way. Maybe it's me. I like the Lego movies. Them things have me cracking up. I'm sorry, So if y'all check that out, man, I think it's a dope movie.
Wait,
I'm gonna check it out. Did they show the part when he sold his chains to Drake and Drake busting them down and melting them? Did they show that
Nah,
Yo,
part?
stop it, Ron.
They
Stop
show
it.
that part. I just want to
Stop
know
it.
that's might be a big part of the movie. It shows
yeah,
ups
nah,
and downs and the ups. You at the top of the game, then you go
right.
down. Let me put that
It
back
didn't
on the
get there.
screen.
Wait. So Pharrell went to high school with Missy
Yes,
and
and Timberland. Yes,
yo, it'd be hilarious who goes to your high school, man. And they
right.
just end up being artists. I remember I went to high school with this guy. He ended up being a rapper named Bishop Nehru. And me and him used to always
I,
go at it, bro. We used
hey,
to
Bishop is fire.
always
It,
no, he had to be nice because
yeah,
he was dealing with me every day. We was talking. I'm talking about back and forth. Yo, your mama
right,
looking like
right.
you looking like.
Nah,
I
he's
remember,
fire.
yo, we went
But
to school. Yo, we used to hate each other's guts, and then he just became. He's like, yo, I'll let you know, yo, this is my last week. I'm dropping out. I'm becoming a rapper. I'm going with MF Doom. I'm like, nigga, what?
yeah, that was the connection right there. MF Doom. Yeah, but he did talk about going to school with them. He talked about Teddy Riley too, and that's one thing. When Teddy Riley moved not too far from his apartments, he got a studio by the school. So then he went to work for Teddy Riley. How he got in there was he won a talent show as the Neptune. So they did their song. The song. I forgot the name of the name of
Rump
the
Shaker was what you talking for Teddy.
yeah, but that's the song he did when he got there. After he kind of annoyed Teddy Riley because Teddy Riley was working on stuff, and then Pharrell would give his opinion, and that's kind of, you got to be careful when you're giving your opinion while someone is working on something. So but then one day he was like, yo, I need a rap, and I don't rap, so I'm gonna play this beat. You kick your bars. He played the Rex and Effects beat, the Rump Shaker beat. Pharrell freestyled that verse. He freestyled it. They recorded it, and then they recorded their parts. So that's a dope story, man. You know what I mean?
No,
I
no,
should check that out.
I might watch that with the kids, man. Before we
Yeah.
get out of here, I want to ask the audience, man. I want to go around and give their last thoughts tonight. We delved into a lot of different topics, a lot of different directions. But I want to ask the people. We didn't do one on election night. I want to expand, according to hip hop, to talk about other things. Hip hop is the core of what we do. Music is always what we do, and the way we look at it is we want to give people an escape to talk about albums, artists, hip hop. And I know most people don't want it. Some people do want it, but I do want to expand it. So if y'all think we should kind of expand it, let us know. Thinking about opening it up to do like a sports show, maybe a technology show, or even a political show like Meet the Press, was what from a hip hop perspective, we put it on Sunday mornings. I might dress up in a suit and tie or something. You know what I'm saying?
I
Have
mean, we could
some.
make it a crossroads. We could make it a
Hey,
crossroads between politics and music. Benny the Butcher had a song called "Still Here."
hey,
And Jay Electronica was on it. They were talking about politics. Freeway, Black Thought was on it. So that's a recent song. That's a new song. So there are crosses between music and politics. Yeah.
Super duper. Go
hey,
ahead.
we'll be like the internet male version of the View, huh?
Yeah, some
Yeah.
Yeah.
something funky. You know what I'm saying? Something funky. You know what I'm saying? We could talk about health and wellness. We could talk about getting your money right. You know what I'm saying? Getting you getting your fitness right. We can talk about
That's
politics.
what Benny the Butcher said in his verse. He said they promote unhealthy foods. We didn't see that trick. You think the CEO of Kool-Aid gives his kids that shit? Yo, we need a Whole Foods to spend our family dollars, because that's how we supposed to spend our family dollars. Like, bro, like he went in, that's health bars. So
Yeah. Hey, before we get out of here though, too, did y'all hear the Ego remix with Killer Mike and Busta Rhymes?
yes. Yeah, I was gonna mention that when Mad Max was saying we give these artists too much props. When Killer Mike gives Ice Cube his props, you gotta respect that. Killer Mike is talking about growing up listening to Ice Cube. You gotta respect that, man.
Ice
Hey,
Cube is a great artist.
the song is actually nice too. I like it. I like it better than the original. I mean, the remix with Buster and Killer Mike. Killer Mike killed that. Buster wasn't too bad on it. And Cube
Ice Cube's
wasn't too
actually a
bad.
legend. Ice Cube's actually a legend. I mean, that first version was Cube could have kept that though. He could have just came
Yeah,
out with
no,
this one.
yeah, he
He
could
could
have
have
kept
kept
that
that
for
one and
sure.
just
But he should have just released it as it is right now. Yeah, I like this version. I think it's hot. Killer Mike came through once again. Nice verse, spitting. I mean, we got to really give Killer Mike, man. We speaking on hating, man. We got to give Killer Mike his flowers, man. We really got to start bigging up these artists, man. It's only so many artists that's even left that's out here still doing it, man. We got to stand on it. When they putting out good work, we got to represent that shit for real, because
Yeah,
For
we
sure.
got support. We got
last of
support.
a dying breed, man. Definitely last of a dying breed.
We got to support. We got support. And yo, shout out to Mike D. And Mike D, that's my boy. You know what I'm saying? My man, 100 grand. But ain't nobody feeling that Snoop and Dre record like that, bro. He was hyping it up on the last show. He was hyping that joint up. I texted him. I was like, yo, man, you hyping this joint up too much, man. Ain't nobody feeling that record like that. He's like, you right, Ron, you right. He excited like it was Christmas or something. That shit ain't hitting like that, B.
I'm rocking with it.
It's cool, but ain't nobody ain't hitting like that, B. It ain't, and we gotta call a spade a spade. I ain't just going, but he was gassing that shit up like it was like still DRE or something.
I agree. I agree, Ron. He was definitely full pedal to the metal with the gas on that.
Mike I've been doing this for 4 years, and it's the most excited I've been. I said, nigga, you hearing the same shit I'm hearing? This shit is whack as fuck, man. What the fuck is this?
Yo, don't do that to Snoop. Don't do that to Snoop.
Come on, man.
Come on now. But no.
Oh my God, man. I'm
love
controlling
Snoop.
the board to the back. I was gonna chop on. I had my, my kids were screaming and shit. I couldn't take it. I waited for the night. I was like, man, come on.
I mean,
man.
It did its job. It's not still DRE by no stretch of the imagination. It's not next episode. It's not a G thing. It's not none of that. But it did its job.
Ain't nobody playing that record. That shit gone, B.
I can't even lie, man. It's probably the most corniest song I ever heard Snoop be a part of.
Wow. Snoop doesn't do corny stuff.
This is a corny song.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, hey, but there's a reason why he's Snoop Dogg. I mean, some of us we could say is corny, and I get it. I'm not gonna say everything he does is fly, but he reaches his audience that he reaches. When he did the song with Pharrell, "Drop It Like It's Hot," I'm gonna be honest with you. I wasn't really feeling "Dropping Like It's Hot," but
see, that's crazy.
It did its job. Now, I'm gonna be honest. I just wasn't. It was the that sound of like your tongue that I wasn't feeling that.
You know what? Honestly, Leroy, I can see that now. That song's a classic to me because I was like 4 when it came out, and I was like 4 when it came out. I remember, like in school, like in like preschool and stuff, when that song came on, everybody was going crazy.
No, it's a classic. That's a classic. I'm just saying, at the time, I really wasn't feeling it like that. You know what I'm saying?
But "Drop It Like It's Hot" is here, and "Gorgeous" is like, man, my hands under my desk. I mean, it's just miles away, B. Let's just keep it a buck.
I think Snoop is because Snoop needs some more up tempo stuff. I'm not really saying like some loud music, but he needs more like, it has to be like funky. It has to be something where you can do the 2-step to and do your little moves, and that's how Snoop gets his stuff on.
That's, for me, that song just don't feel like a Snoop song, just period. It almost feels like he the feature on the song. You know what I mean? Like from production wise, it don't seem like it too much really fit him. I mean, I can't really say that. I mean, because Snoop get down on a lot of stuff, different type of production, but just the way it feel, it almost feel like it was her song featuring Snoop.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. What if I think like if the East Siders had their thing going on, their new album, if it was kind of more in that lane, okay, maybe if it sounded like some gangster music, the first single out, maybe that would have been more.
You know who Snoop need to do a song with, man?
What's that?
He needs to do a song with my boy A$AP Rocky and get this guy out of whatever he's doing. Because isn't A$AP Rocky supposed to be dropping an album?
Where
actually,
A$AP at, man?
Yeah, where he at? Yo, good question, Leroy. Where the hell is he at? That guy gets me so tight, bro. He be
Ferg is outside.
Man.
Ferg is outside. Where Rocky at?
Man, speaking of where guys at, man, we keep on forgetting. Where is Pusha T? Is the real question. Where is
They
Pusha
supposed to have
T?
an album too, right?
He's supposed to have an album. I'm still waiting on him to diss Jim Jones. We didn't gave him a pass for that.
Well, he's
where
never
is Pusha T?
He's never dissing Jim Jones. That's over. That's over. We got to give Pusha T a loss You can't
Hey, yeah,
wait 6 months in today's time period.
he got to definitely take that L because
You
where
got to
is he
take
at?
that.
Where is Pusha T?
You go
Well,
back
he
to that song that even though it's only about 2 minutes, maybe even 60 seconds, Jim Cook Pusha with that.
I mean,
Okay.
I'm even disappointed. Even like, why are we getting a Clips album before we getting the Pusha T album? Like that
well,
that don't even really make sense to me.
I think that makes sense though, because the
Yeah.
last Pusha album he toured that too. Like he dropped the album, he did a whole tour behind that. So
It's almost dry was dry. It wasn't
he
even
did
like it
his
was.
thing with that.
It was
I think
dry.
almost dry. It had too much going on between Pharrell and Kanye. Not that they're not both dope, but when you have them both working on a project, it sounds like a lot going on. I
It was.
really
It
do.
was.
I think y'all tripping about that. Almost Dry was fire. I don't know what y'all talking
It
about.
was
you know,
alright. It was
you know,
alright.
you know what's crazy about that, Ron? I remember when Almost Dry came out. I was like, the Pharrell songs are nice. They're all right. The Kanye songs are, blah. They're mid, right? Whatever. And I was like, the album's just, it's just. And I remember people was hating on me. They was like, oh, you don't know hip hop. You don't know this. I was like, y'all telling me that album was fire for real?
Dry was cool. It was
It was
It was
alright.
alright.
cool, but it was also him sounding different too.
I,
Like
I like
Pusha
Diet.
came
Was
in
it
his flow.
was it Diet Coke?
Diet Coke was
I
dope.
go.
I like that song. That song was alright. I like the
Man,
Brambleton.
if he
The shit.
dropped that album right now, that album would be album of the year off top.
Well, the album was. Actually, super duper. When you really look back at that year, that album was probably top three the year it came out.
No,
That
it
tells you how
was.
bad. That's probably
What
tell
Yeah.
you how bad that year is.
what
Cause
I what
No,
I
it was a good
appreciate
album,
about
man. I'm not agreeing with y'all on this Pusha T slander. I like the album. I love that album.
no,
I
no,
give
what
it
I
like a 3.75,
I'm
yeah,
giving it a
maybe,
four and a
may,
half.
maybe a light 4.
My
I give it
favorite
a
Pusha T is My
3.5.
Name Is My Name. That's my favorite Pusha T album. That's just me
My
though. You know what
name
I'm
is
saying?
my name.
That's his best album, Ron.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. That's the one. That's
See,
what I think
I
it's
like
better.
a mi-
It's better than Daytona. It's better than all that. You know what I'm
The
I
saying?
like a
The
mixtape
Daytona's.
of his, the one that had Alone in Vegas. I like that
Oh,
mixtape.
wait, Exodus is supposed to be on there too, but he never put it on there.
Yeah. But I like what Pusha did. Pusha took some production advice. I could tell when he was making that album that Pharrell's input, Pusha took some advice. So I like that
Yeah,
because
like
when I was listening to the album, I heard something different from Pusha, and when I heard a different approach, I could appreciate
yeah.
somebody willing to be different.
I think Fear was on there or New God Flow. You know what, Pusha T, I got a request. And I got a request from you and Nas. That Exodus this when you get in that Drake, I need that on streaming platforms, bro. I'm tired of going to YouTube every week to listen to that record. That record's hard. I need that in my phone. And Nas, please, I don't care if you make a Lost Tapes 3. I need Star Wars, bro. I need that. Where is that song?
It's not. You got to be able to find Star Wars.
No, I found Star Wars, but I want
Oh,
it on Apple Music. I want to put it with my other music that I
yeah.
go to
I think
daily.
it might be on Spotify, but you might want to switch over to Spotify. You know
Oh,
what I
F
mean?
Spotify, man. I don't like
Yeah.
Spotify, man.
Spotify. I used to be an Apple Music dude, but I switched over to Spotify. Man, Spotify got all
Hey
that shit I
man,
like.
Yeah,
Nas
I'm a
and Primo
Spotify guy
drop an
too.
album. I'm going to gas. I'm already telling you that I'm going to go crazy. Sorry, we're not supposed to be gassing stuff, but when it comes to Nas and Primo, I'm gassing that. I'm letting you know early.
But is that really coming, or is that just what we are saying?
I that's
Hey,
he said it's
when
coming
Nas
soon.
say he coming, he's coming.
He said he's coming soon. Now, if I hear both them guys on it for a whole album, I'm damn near gonna lose my whole mind. I'm just letting you know. I get excited about hip hop. I've always been this way. Sorry. You know what I'm
No
saying?
doubt, no doubt, no doubt.
No, I'll say this. If Nas and Primo are doing an album,
Yeah.
people are not gonna like this.
You
It might.
here now.
People not gonna like this. It might smoke up that little Hit Boy stuff that niggas been gassing for the last 4 years. It might smoke that whole shit up. People not gonna like that
Well,
because
they got to cross the LL Q-Tip bar. They got to cross the Common and Pete Rock bar. If they can do that, then they got something. But let's
I think the LL bar, and people know I love LL. That's my guy. I love LL. That's Uncle L. I never disrespect L, but I
Yeah,
mean
man.
Nas got on his own album and smoked him. So I mean, I'm pretty sure Nas and Primo can outdo Q-Tip and LL. Now the Common stuff, to be honest with you, the Common and Pete Rock joint, I feel like they did what they did, but they do that in their sleep. I don't really think they went above their ability to do what they did. I think
Yeah.
that's what they do naturally. Now, if Nas and Primo do something like that, like what Common and Pete Rock did, then I can kind of hear what you're saying. But I'm pretty sure Primo he hears what's being said about his name that he's washed in these spaces, and I think he's feeling disrespected.
Well,
And
I hope he's feeling
I
disrespected
think
because
he's
if he
feeling
is,
disrespected.
if he's feeling disrespected, y'all about to hear a different Primo.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think
y'all
he's
about
feeling
to hear a different Primo.
I think
You
he's
know,
feeling disrespected because he's hearing people talk about, oh, you guys just want 94 beats and all. And Primo's
I
looking at it like, do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? Like I am Primo. Don't be act like
right
my scratches didn't change the game. My scratches changed the game, gang.
for
So
sure. I mean, his whole style. Period. If we're talking about '90s hip hop, I mean, DJ Premier is the backbone of that.
yeah,
As far as this hardcore hip hop is concerned, I went classic records. I mean, come on now.
yeah.
But
I
yeah,
love Primo. I love Primo. Everybody knows that RZA's probably my favorite producer, peak for peak. But
dope.
Primo's like number two to me. I mean, it's like RZA, Primo. I'm into 3 6 Mafia now and they stuff, and then
Now,
like and
with
then
that being
Q-Tip.
said, Primo, yeah, he's had his missteps over the year, but I think anybody that's been in the game 40 years, I think sometimes you have missteps. I think that's is to be expected. You know what I'm saying? If you're this man done made 1,000 beats, I don't think you can make 1,000 beats and all of them be super crazy. I think that's impossible. But the
Yo,
stuff he is had that's classic is classic.
yo, I got an announcement to make. I'm gonna go ahead and let it be known right now. Album of the year is gonna be, and y'all heard it here first. So when it comes out, I want y'all to give it an honest listen. I don't want y'all to laugh. I don't want y'all to say I'm tripping, I'm bugging, that I'm crazy.
Yeah.
Album of the year is gonna be Project Pat and DJ Paul. Their joint album. That's
I'll
gonna be the
listen
album.
to it. I'll listen to it
That's
for
gonna be the
you.
album of the year. Project Pat, DJ Paul.
I like
No,
Project
no,
Pat.
no, 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 no. I'm sorry. Juicy J, and Project Pat.
I ain't
Album of the
going
year.
down them. I'm not going down them.
That
I'll
will be the
listen.
album of the year. Juicy J, Project Pat, album of the year. You heard it here first.
I ain't going
I
down
think
them.
that's gonna be the album when you really look at it. That's probably gonna be that all ages could dig because this whole era is just 3 6 Mafia stuff. Like when I really went back and listened to their stuff, I was like, damn, bro, these dudes be sampling the hell out of them.
I mean, on according to Hip Hop Today, we have Will Smith using a different kind of flow. All that stuff that comes from that region, so it has permeated throughout the game. But
And
I
Will
think,
and that Will Smith flow was fire. He did
yeah,
his thing.
yeah, people call it again. I left a comment there. I said some people call it wave riding. I call it surfing. Sometimes you got to find a different flow. I mean, I remember I was in the studio and somebody was playing beats and all the beats were nice. The problem was me. I couldn't do that flow. So I had to go back and learn that flow. That
All
it
right,
just
still
is what
here.
it is.
All right, still here. Fire was an exaggeration, but I like Will, so
Well, let's
Yeah.
that's
let's
my
get
guy.
let's wrap up, guys. Let's go. Mad Max, then Super Duper Leroy. What's your final thoughts for the night, gentlemen?
My final thoughts is ASAP Rocky come out with the damn album. I don't know if it's a sampling issue. I need the album, and I also want Griselda to work with the ASAP mob because I heard Betty the Butcher and 38 Special say the other day that they the kings of New York. I mean, respectfully, I got love for y'all. I love y'all, but no. You want to be kings of New York, you gotta work your way down state. You're doing
Respect
that.
it.
I like
Respect it.
it, but you gotta work your way downstate. Work with the mob. You already got one person in your camp that's worked with the mob. I heard Rome Streets and ASAP 12. I think you guys collab could give you a mixture of what the youth and what the older people want. in a healthy way. So I would like that.
Fire.
You know that ain't gonna happen, man. Y'all too stuck into this drill music.
Oh no. Well, you know what? I heard Jada Kiss say that drill is the worst trend in hip hop history. I agree and disagree with him at the same time. But I'm starting to hate drill. Drill is trash.
I saw the potential in drill, and I'm gonna take the street element out of it because I can't co-sign the street element of that. But the musicality, there was ways that they could use that, man. There was a lot of range that you could use that style, and I just don't think it's been used.
I think the style that I hear, no, I like the beats that the UK people did. When that I think is good. It's just that, once it got to New York, and other than Pop Smoke, I mean, these dudes is on the record trying to sound like Bad Impressions of Sticky Fingers. It's just ridiculous. It's like you sound like you got 100 cigarettes. Nobody want to hear all that. You're
Right.
Hey,
yelling, smoking on Dead, smoking on Teresa. I don't want to hear that, bro. You sound like
hey,
Vegeta.
you know drill music is in trouble when the best drill rappers is the two old white men from the UK, Pete and Boss.
You
Hey,
cold blooded, man.
and you know drill music is in trouble when they the two best drill rappers out.
Well, I think Central C is probably the best drill rap. I mean, he doesn't really do drills, but
Hey, Pete and Boss might eat them up.
Hey, Super Duper, what's your final thoughts, brother?
Hey, my final thoughts is, everybody be cool, man. It's just one election. The world ain't gonna stop spinning. I ain't doing the dishes, so I ain't worried about going back in slavery. And everybody chill out and worry about yourself and get your shit together, man, so we can make the right decision next year. And hopefully we'll come together with a better decision than what was made. But it is what it is. We gotta live with it. And the world ain't gonna stop spinning because Trump in office. We'll be all right.
No doubt. We're gonna get our list together too. We're gonna come back at y'all with another show with our list coming up soon, man. Leroy, what's your final thoughts, brother?
Final thoughts, as far as that's concerned, we still gonna have to help ourselves. I know y'all been hearing it ever since the 60s and the 70s. We gonna have to help ourselves. That's gonna have to come first. It ain't gonna come from Washington, no matter who's up there. It could be left, right. They not thinking about us. So that's one thing. But two, also listen to this mixtape behind me, Pharrell's mixtape with DJ Drama. That's my favorite mixtape. I know it may sound crazy to y'all, but check that out, man. And check out the movie, Piece by Piece.
No doubt. Y'all see the hat rack real quick. Yellowstone's back at it tomorrow. My guy John Dutton gonna be on that thing. You know what I'm saying? Check it out. Also, as I told Mad Max and I told Super Duper in the beginning of the season, I think I told Leroy too. Lamar Jackson's looking great right now, but I really think when it comes to the end, Josh Allen's gonna win an MVP. So y'all be on deck for that. And I just want to leave y'all with some positive notes, man. This is from Ephesians 5:11 through the 16th. Have nothing to do with the fruitless deeds of darkness, but rather expose them. It is shameful even to mention what the disobedient do in secret. But everything exposed by the light becomes visible, and everything that is illuminated becomes a light. This is why it is said, wake up, sleeper, rise from the dead, and Christ will shine on you. Be very careful then how you live, as not as unwise, but as wise, making the most of every opportunity because the days are evil. Just want to leave y'all with that. So
Preach.
y'all be well. Y'all go do your thing. Enjoy your families. Love one another. We're going to be all right. Listen to some good music. Watch a good movie. Check out some football. Check out some Yellowstone. And we'll be back at it. Peace.
Yes, sir.
Hit like and
Peace.
subscribe.
Peace, y'all. See you next week.